$2 from William DeFriend. Willem even. Somehow, Mamamax returned. We don't know how he did it.
We don't know where they came from, or what they're after.
So much drama, you'd never even believe it was real. Shoutouts to the two OSI heads in chat. Represent. We're still waiting on their next album. It's just been 12 years now. It's any day now. Any day now. You're free. 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 welcome to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Big drama hours! It's time for drama, everybody! Oh my god, so much drama is happening, you wouldn't believe it! Wow! Wow! Big drama! Huge! Subscribe now for more drama! Yeah, I don't know, I didn't really plan it this way, but there's been a few things. I mean, it's not... The rest of it, besides the Mamamax stuff, it won't take terribly long, but there's been some stuff going on in relation to the channel and whatnot. And I thought I'd take a look at it, and then we're probably just gonna look at some other nonsense. I have one video I think might be kind of funny. I'll just say that. It's a very vague proclamation that I have a video that might be funny. But, yeah, welcome everybody. We got some drama. Mamamax is back, everybody. As someone in chat said it, and I pinned the comment. It says, "Is major drama the minor mama?" It is. We got some problems, and you know, I'm on the wrong menu on my thing for the probably a minor, but you know, Mamamax is in fact back. He is, and he's made a response video. It's only about 4 minutes long, but there's some other stuff in relation to it that we need to go over. We simply need to discuss. And then yeah, as the title suggests, there's some Origami Kingdom related stuff. I don't know how real it is, but there's also another situation which seems to be very real. Which involves that Mightypups gentleman, if you remember that video. So, we got some stuff. If you don't know some of these people, you should watch my videos. If you don't know, then now you know. Deadwing Dorks the shit. We're gonna get into it. Mamamax, he was run off of the internet by a bunch of people. Most of YouTube, most of his viewers, most people that didn't view him, everybody who witnessed the situation, except for like a very small community of people that were taken in by his charms, were against Max. The time was up for Max. The tide had shifted, and you know, for whatever reason, everybody, including myself, I think I watched one of his videos and I was like, or maybe a couple, and I was like, oh, this is probably not for me. This seems a little overdone, whatever, but I assumed he was, like, actually catching pedos. I was gonna say predators. Pedophiles. That's the right name for them. I was assuming he was actually doing something to, like, I don't know, catch the pedophiles, but he's not. As it turned out, basically everything that he ever did on YouTube in his attempt to, like, stop sex trafficking or whatever, was all fake, or not fake, but like he did nothing to help any situation. He made up a whole fake fictional universe in which, like, the Mamamax universe, it was very strange. It was a fictional Mamamax universe in which pedophiles run society, which is very strange, because have you seen some of the politicians today? I don't know, but, you know, and celebrities and such, but, yeah, so Mamamax, he was trying to catch the pedophiles, and, allegedly, and as it turned out, he really didn't do much to stop any of that. He got run off of the internet, and in the months since, this was, you know, early in the year, like February probably was, like, when it all died down, but really January, I mean, it all started back, like, a year ago now, almost, in September, I think. In 2023, so it's been a while. That he's been on this bent. But in the time since he was run off the internet, he wound up working with some sort of, I don't know if it was like a not-for-profit or like a charity or what it was, but it was some kind of Save the Children thing in, like, you know, near him. I think it was in Texas or something. I'm not sure, but it was like somewhere near, like physically near him. There was a picture where it was like 4 people and he was one of them, and they all had their arms around each other, and it was like a, you know, a group like thing. And he got kicked from that because people informed the charity or whatever, the organization, that he was not to be probably fucking trusted. And there was some pushback to that, you know, because it's like, well, what is he really not to be trusted? Is he gonna, like, touch the kids? Well, it doesn't seem like he would, right? Like, his whole thing is that he wants to save the children. But, he has a real fixation on kids. Either an actual one or one that feels like he's just, you know, using them for his own means. But he has a real fixation on the image of himself as someone who, you know, saves minors. So it feels somewhat unhinged, his fixation on children. And I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't know how far that extends or why exactly. I don't know what he would necessarily do, but it's a little strange. So it's, you know, I think it's potentially for the best that he got dropped from something like that. I'm not in, you know, I'm not suggesting that he should never work again or whatever, or like everyone should cancel him from whatever job he has. But like in a situation like that, I don't know, with the children involved, you know, just take a step away from the children, Mamamax. I think that would be for the best. But he didn't really want to listen to that, and he's back. And there's some other stuff that we'll be talking about after this in relation to it, but and that kind of came before all of this, but we're gonna get into it. This is the new video from Max. This is the new video, and it has an overwhelming dislike ratio. 2,000 dislikes, 440 likes. Overwhelming issues with this. People aren't liking it. I like how he's got, you know, Martin Luther King and Malala behind him. You know, but he's... is that Malala? I don't know. He's got Martin Luther King behind him. And he's, you know, that's good. You know, it's good to include him in the conversation whenever Mamamax is brought up. You know, it's not right to say he's necessarily, like, putting his name on the same level or anything. I don't think that's accurate, but, you know, you can't watch this video this Mamamax video without also discussing how Martin Luther King makes an appearance. So it's like, yeah, good of you to, you know, honor his legacy and whatnot like that. So it's only about 4-minute long video. It's being organized by this guy Luke Stevens, who I found out eventually I used to watch some of his stuff. He's like a game channel or whatever, but I eventually found out he's like a quarter pounder sympathizer or whatever. He's I don't know. He's had some stuff that makes him look a little, I don't know. I don't necessarily need to keep watching him, but he's organizing some sort of charity, I guess, which I don't understand this because he's organizing it, but then it's for this real charity, but then Mamamax is also part of it, I guess. I don't know why Mamamax is still allowed to give to charity. You know, I guess that's good. Maybe it's a good thing that he's giving to charity. Maybe $205 have been made already from this video that has a terrible like ratio. You know, maybe that's a straight up good, a positive. But it also, I mean, let's be honest here, a lot of people use charity as a shield, so, I mean, it's like good that you did it, but we all know why you did it. It doesn't really make you less of a bad person. Like, great that you put something into the world, I guess, but like, we know why you did it. Like, it doesn't speak to your character at all. It's inconsequential that you helped someone because you're or whatever, because it feels like you're just doing it for you. But that's, you know, that's just me. Let's get into it here, this fundraiser video. Wow, we're off to a really great start, guys. He's doing a funny skit. That's great. Look at, he animated the tomato because he's a good filmmaker. Look, he's a filmmaker, guys. It's a good face. Sorry, just, you know, hang on a sec. There we go. Just a little bit of, just a little bit of this. There we go. Oh, yeah. Ooh! Shoo! cryptid for a little bit there. Okay, this is just childish at this point. Oh, tomato round! You know, I mean...
Guys. I just want to talk. There's a lot I have to share with you over the
There's a lot.
next few uploads.
There's a lot of Leviathans coming.
It may be decades before the truth around this case comes to light.
Wow, you really fucked it up bad, didn't you? It may be decades, guys. You're gonna just have to keep financially supporting him and giving him a bone until then. It might be decades. We might all be dead. It might be our children's children. It might wind up like the fucking Queen song 39, where it's like, by the letters in the sand, Camden Gerard Davis is a pedophile. Dun 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 dun. You know, like, I don't know, like 400 years in the future, we finally find out about what Camden has done. Maybe. We're just gonna have to give him some time. Don't worry, guys, just give him some time.
And the survivors will speak up when they are ready.
Well, the survivors don't seem to have much interest in, involving themselves with you anymore, but we'll get to that. At least one of them. One of the big ones, both literally and, one of the big ones is no longer supporting him.
But I would like to start uploading again. Now, you've probably heard a lot of different things about me. Distinguishing between what's real and what's not is a challenge in the year 2024.
Wow, I didn't see my thumbnail in there, buddy. You fucked up. That was mine was one of the first videos. That's the real shit, is that I was one of the OGs. It was like Tommy C called him a weirdo, and then everyone else was fine with him, and then I was the first one who basically was like, how about this video that he's making? What's up with that? And then everybody else followed from me. I'm just saying, I'm a trendsetter. I'm just saying. I mean, everyone knew that, but I'm just confirming it for everyone.
And it's probably only going to get harder as time goes on.
You could literally goon on me. I know, he could.
Mass psychosis is very real.
Well, giving people seizures with this you didn't give me a warning for that seizure. There was clearly a photosensitivity warning, Max. How dare you?
And I'm sure you all can pretty much feel it.
Did he make this art? I mean, did he make this, or was this AI? Where did he get this from? It feels like this could easily be AI. This looks pretty AI, but if he didn't, it's kind of like maybe he credits whoever made it. Let's see the thing here. No credits for whoever made the art in the description. So it might be AI, or he might have just stolen someone's fucking picture from DeviantArt or something, which, under some circumstances is fine. Like whenever I do it. But, not for this, probably.
At this point. Now, people have taken my...
Yeah, mass psychosis. Yeah, it's mass psychosis. That's what I think about there being 8 seasons of fucking Big Mouth, but... We live in a society, my man. That's not mass psychosis. That's just society.
Silence. I pretty much feel it at this point. Now, people have taken my silence as an admission of guilt. That is not the case. I was simply respecting the wishes of...
Oh, no, we took your, basically admitting to never having put anybody in jail or doing anything actually impactful as a predator catcher. We took you saying ChatGPT understands the legal system as an admission of guilt. There's a lot of things we took as an admission of guilt. Silence was not even one of them. We just thought you tried to move on to greener pastures or something. But you can see he's still manic and insane throughout this. You can see he's clearly the word unhinged gets thrown around a lot, but this guy looks like crazy. He looks crazy
at this point. Now, people have taken my silence.
The constant little smile that he has. He used to look a little fucked, but that was a year ago, and I don't know. He hasn't taken his meds in that whole time, probably. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't take any meds. I don't know if this is just how he is, but he seems crazy. He looks crazy. He sounds crazy. What the words he's saying come across as crazy if you know the context.
As an admission of guilt, That is not the case. I was simply respecting the wishes.
Is he still using the voice changer? I think he's not. I think he's just like... I think he's just talking like this. Like I do when I imitate him. I think he's doing an imitation of himself, which is poetic if you think about it.
Of those I was advocating for. But I am not the monstrous villain that I've been.
Someone says bro is written in the same font as Onision. Yeah, this is AI, isn't it? I mean, this looks like it's probably YouTube. I mean, that's spelled correctly, but there's like... Look at this. AI and Mamamax was a mistake. I'm assuming this had to have been AI. Maybe he's got an artist. Maybe he made this. Smiley face. But it's like low poly, kind of. The first picture, the one before, looked kind of like, what's that game? Axiom Verge, a little bit. This one, I don't know. I mean, it's got like a crown of thorns. Got a, like, crucified... Is it Jesus crucified for YouTube's sins or something? And these are, like, the plebeian masses down here, which I gotta say, you know, Sonic Sega Gamer really fitting in. He really fits in down there in those masses. But the plebeian masses, they're down there, and they're all congregating, as you know, as they do, the masses. And they're, you know, I guess there's like towers in the background. This has to be AI, right? Because what is this?
And caricaturized as. I don't care. I don't care who says I'm doing this for money or clout. I have lost that, and I'm still doing this work.
Yeah, because you're like crazy. It doesn't mean you're like genuine. Can we get these dogs to safety? I don't know.
Because it truly matters. Because it is very important work. We need to refocus
your great work.
Our conversations on future generations that are facing multiple global threats. That we are all
like. So the thing is, it's not even that he hasn't learned. I don't know, to fuck off. You know, it's not even that. But it's that he's not even learned to really rephrase himself at all in a way that makes this make more sense or more, like, agreeable or anything. This just comes off the same type of crazy, if not worse, than it was before. This is not better. This is... It's worse, in fact, just because there's been more time. You'd think a normal person would look at what's happened and at the very least be like, okay, I was right, but... maybe I didn't, like, communicate my thing properly, right? Maybe, clearly people didn't get my great message when I said ChatGPT understands the legal system. But he's, you know, he's back and it's been a while, and he's like, he took special moments he took a special moment just to inform us that he is still crazy. You know? That was the part where he was like, you know, I want to assure you that, you know, my silence doesn't mean I'm admitting guilt. That's definitely not what happened. It's just him being like, don't worry, I haven't taken any kind of accountability for what's gone on in these past months. I've just been planning and scheming on how I'm going to cancel Charlie or whatever. Great video.
Perpetuating. And there's so much work we have to do to help them. So if you take away one thing from this channel, let it be this. Crimes against children remain one of the most devastating sources of...
Hang on.
Let it be this. Crimes against children remains one of the most devastating sources of injustice and suffering for humanity.
You hate to see it.
That is a fact. So yes, absolutely.
God damn it. God damn it. Okay. The fucking... There's a thing, function F6. It's supposed to pause the music, but sometimes it'll just pause the fucking video. It's completely unreliable. I hate it.
Police. That is a fact. So yes, absolutely call the police.
The children.
When you have been harmed or your children have been harmed. However, that is just the first step in a very long and difficult process that most victims give up on.
He comes across as just being, like, exasperated with people for... I mean, that's exactly what it is, too. He's like, exasperated with people asking him questions and not understanding his amazing vision and his work that he's, you know, whatever. It, like, he's such a genius, and he has to dumb it down for the stupid plebs to make them understand, kind of is the feeling.
And most children go without seeing justice. However, we can rebuild the infrastructural issues with law enforcement and legal processes to ensure more kids are getting restorative justice.
Yeah, like, this has to be AI, right? This is so... Like... I don't know, maybe he got an artist. We'll see at the end. Maybe he got a pixel animation artist, but, like... It would have to be on Fiverr or something. It couldn't be somebody that he knows and they have respect for each other. Because no one has respect for him anymore. There's, like, no one would work with him unless they're just, like, a hired gun. So that's why it feels like it has to either be him or AI. I mean, I'm not seeing too many imperfections where I'm like, it has to be AI. Maybe this thing, there's, like, a weird extra arm here or something. I don't know. So maybe, but... I mean, I'm just focused on this fucking art because it's just so... It's like, he didn't have this before. Like, AI was up to a pretty decent standard by last year. He could have easily had more... Maybe he did and we didn't notice. But now it's a little more, like, egregiously, like, this has to be... And the type of imagery he's going for, too. I mean, it says something about him, I think, where he's doing, like... crucified Jesus man, you know, before the masses, the huddled Untermensch masses. And now the children and the money weighed on the scales by the fucking evil Satan, the SMT Satan demon.
They deserve. And hopefully one day we can prevent
Player one, hit
crimes
start.
from happening.
Was it
to
AI in the
children
other videos? Okay.
That is my mission.
No, that's true, because ChatGPT understands the legal system, obviously. So, I mean, why would we be surprised that he's using AI? I don't know. I'm just hung up on it because it's like... I mean, people say that there's no artistry to AI, and in a lot of cases that can be true, but you really get a glimpse into the soul of someone in this case, where it's like, what prompts is he using to make this bizarre, like, imagery, where it's like Jesus man being fucking sacrificed to the YouTube... comment masses, whatever that picture was. You know, he's got to be huddling over fucking Grok GPT or whatever, which I've heard is woke, unfortunately. He's got to be huddled over that, just kind of like typing in, like, you know, savior, persecuted by idiots, ignorant fools, persecuting hero. You know, like, you gotta wonder what the tags are in these images he's using, you know?
Okay.
Not woke!
Because
yeah, you
justice
gotta have not woke in the tags, yeah.
is not freely given.
Freedom isn't free! Hell
It
yeah!
is something we must fight for. And that sucks, because a lot of kids can't fight. They don't even know where to begin. They probably don't even know that a crime is being committed against them, most times. Cyber crimes against children continues to rise at an unprecedented scale, and the psychological exploitation of technology will destroy us if we do not correct these patterns. That is my belief.
So, yeah, complete double down. I mean, I don't know why anyone would have expected differently. I mean, I guess when he was working with the other group in his local area, maybe there was... Well, that was also children-related, so yeah, it's the same, harping on the same chord, really. I mean, that's the thing, is, like, it's worrying, right? Because, like, this is... I think at this point it is enough to be a little concerned. Because, like, before, okay, sure, you know, it's whatever, he's trying to make a quick buck, you know, he's trying to get clout, whatever. Like he said, he doesn't have that anymore, and he's probably not going to get it back. So he's still really onto this because he does have some kind of mental fixation. And I don't really think it is genuine, personally. I don't think, because his helping the kids thing was actually about helping a 16-year-old land whale who had, like, a fucking relationship with an 18-year-old and wasn't happy about it. And said something about how she was gonna, like, cut off his arm. What was it? She said she was gonna, like, something. She was, like, kind of abusive to Camden in the videos that came out. But, yeah, his thing wasn't about children at all. It was about, like, a girl who had a 2-year age difference with a guy. Not about children. He doesn't genuinely really seem to want to fucking help children. So it seems that that's really just something that he's using to further his own ego or whatever, and he seems very adamant about it. So that is why it feels like maybe we shouldn't let him work with children in real life, because you don't know what could happen. He could, I mean, any number of things that I'm certainly not alleging would happen, ever. I'm sure he's a nice man who would never do such things like, you know, stage any kind of abuse to make himself look like a hero or anything like that. I'm sure he never would. He never would. Absolutely not alleging anything like that. But, yeah, you know, it's a little concerning, because when it stops being about, like, easy money, easy fame, easy clout, it's like, oh, you have, like, a problem. This is, like, a mental fixation where you need to help the children, quote-unquote. You have, like, a fucking fixation in your brain where you need to help the children, quote-unquote. Right. Well, that's just more concerning. I mean, this isn't, like, clearing you up, dude. This is making it look worse, honestly. This is making you look worse. To borrow a quote from the Ahmad Blakemore modern-day leper video that I'm nearly finished making, I don't think I want this man to drive the school bus anymore. Please get him off. Get him off. Not like that. Oh, no!
Those who have a voice must speak for those who are voiceless. So with that said, I will see you soon.
See you soon, buddy. I can't wait. I literally just cannot even wait. Please, I really hope it's like when Cybershell is gone for like 3 years and then he comes back with like a video every day for a week. And they're all like an hour long. I hope he does that. I really think that would be great. But that's the Mamamax update, or at least part of it. Because there's more. There is more. Because a few days ago, a week ago, whatever, I think there's been some lead up to this for a little while. It's been at least a week. Well, actually, before we get into that, we've got some important comments here, like, Video ends at 15 seconds. Mass psychosis. Didn't you sue Mutahar for bringing this up to light? There's a difference between mass psychosis and basic fucking criticism, Max. Wow, he's so narcissistic he thinks he can mass gaslight everyone into thinking we've experienced mass psychosis for confronting him on his BS. Yeah, there's multiple layers to this one, Shrek. No way bro's calling it mass psychosis. Zoomer skull emoji. Please stop using the exploitation of children as a moral high ground. All we asked for is more evidence and an apology. Stop deflecting. Stop projecting. Give it up, bro. It's over. I was waiting for your response, and I have to say it was pretty weak. This is just, well, man, Michael Black 131 is not fucking with you anymore. I mean, you fucked up. He's not around to the party anymore. This is just doubling down in the vaguest possible way. Nothing has been clarified, and you've not reinforced any belief that you've got what it takes to handle this case with any proper care. No one is saying you're doing this for money or clout. The criticism is that you're completely out your depth in this line of work. You're not a professional, and you've shown that, unfortunately. You're not a vigilante either. And if anything, your mission for justice is obscuring what you seek for. Bearer, seek lest. I suggest you take this down and make a real response in which you apologize for totally botching. Oh, give it up, Dumbo. Give it up, dumb shit. That's never happening. It's never fucking happening. So the comments are not positive. That's a little glimpse into them. You know, people are not taking it lightly. I mean, that's something I didn't even really bring up, but yeah, he is just continuing to do the thing where he you know, deflects to fucking, the children are in danger. You can't criticize me because the children are in danger, yada yada yada. Like, it's the same thing, no difference at all. This video could have literally been recorded like 6 months ago and just released now, and I would believe it. I would have no trouble believing it. No credit on the images, by the way, so most likely is AI, which I you know, not to be surprised about, but it's interesting. It's interesting, an interesting choice. Let's see here. Thank you to all the super chats. We're going to begin with more drama. Next meme. It's the same. It's the same drama. What's her name? Ham Planet. Spencer. She's throwing him under the bus. She's not down to clown with Max anymore. She's not fucking around with Max anymore. She doesn't want to hear him say children no more. She's not down to clown with Max. Something happened. You know, there was fallout. And I'm not really sure exactly what. Maybe this video that we're about to watch is going to clear it up. There's been some posts made about it. And, yeah, this is all happening right around the time that this new video is coming out, so I have to assume the timing is not a coincidence. Either for one of them or both of them. That, there seems to be some interesting developments for both of their stories. Treating this like it's a fucking soap opera. So this is a video from, let's see. No, wait, this is well, this is from Hadrian Dev. This is some info about Spencer, specifically. But there's additional information about Spencer, because over the course of, like, the last month, there's been some stuff. People talking about Birdie and bringing up Spencer. Spencer is Walmart, says our mod Freggy. You know, anytime you think that I'm being too hard and calling her land whale or whatever, there's a quote from Skinny Sucker Freggy, a mod on the Discord server. She says, Spencer is a whale, and has a cat emoji. And then Spencer is Walmart is another one. After someone else said Spencer works at Walmart. Let me see here. So this was a few months ago. We're not going that far back. Is it here? And this is live stream discussion. That's not it. Well, I might not be able to find it, unfortunately. But there is some news regarding... If anyone can link me to it, at me on the Discord, the Spencer and Max stuff where she's now throwing him under the bus. We'll get into that, but before we get into that, I thought that's what this video was, but it looks like it's just some clarification. A source close to Spencer reached out to this user, Hadrian Dev. Hadrian, however you say it, because of my latest video on Mamamax and his mega situation. Well, that's another element of why we probably shouldn't let him work with children. It's that he had his fucking mega upload account shut down for having, you know, illegal material of such a dubious nature that he probably should not be allowed to work around children. I mean, we don't know exactly why necessarily, but whatever it is, you know, just for the, you know, it's for everyone's sake. We should just probably not let that happen. But it's from 4 days ago. It's from this user here, Hadrian Dev. You can check out the channel. We're gonna watch this video, and hopefully by the time we're done here, we can get some more information about the actual fallout between Spencer and Max, because I know that's been happening over the course of the last, you know, couple weeks or something. There's been some talk here and there. I just can't seem to find it right now on the fucking Discord, but that's fine. Hopefully somebody will get to me.
I will break your fingers.
Yeah. She's gonna break Camden's fingers, everybody. This vampire cult leader, rapist, werewolf, pedophile who commands thousands of child sex slaves and financial servitude servants across the world. He's a serious bad guy, and Spencer's gonna break his fingers. So, you know, Immediately, I'd seen this one before. I think it might be a little bit of like a, you know, a playful S&M thing, or whatever, but, you know, whatever it is, it does not back the narrative of this guy being like a scary, you know, a scary, abusive monster. Haven't you done that already?
After my last video on Max, a source close to Spencer reached out to me with the truth about Spencer, and they explained all of Spencer's lies that she spread about herself and her backstory on the internet. They would like to remain anonymous, but if any large YouTuber wants to cover this story, reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with my source and you can verify the truth of what I say in this video. So Spencer,
it's just Spencer.
aka Shelby, is a person who was, according to her, involved in a vampire cult. This cult leader was a man called Camden Gerard Davis. He allegedly abused her and kept her in that cult and manipulating her to stay. She ran away to that cult from her abusive family.
This is like a great little return to the drama, you know, everyone, we all forgot about Mamamax. It's been such a year. We've had an insane piece of shit, and we've had, you know, Boogie, and all this other crazy drama that's been happening. The major drama. We've had the Keffels video, there's been so much. And Mamamax, really, you know, he fell off. He's just not, it's not as interesting anymore, you know? I mean, well, there wasn't any news, but now we're getting a fresh, you know, shot in the arm of new Mamamax. It's amazing.
And managed to get out, and she went to Mamamax to break the story and make videos about it.
My name is Spencer.
It's just
I'm the
Spencer.
survivor of Camden Gerard Davis, the leader of a destructive cult that has victimized hundreds of minors. This video is our screen for action.
On March 18th, 2016, Spencer, a 16-year-old girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously disappeared, lured by the illusion of joining a supernatural family as a vampire on some random corner of the internet.
Sounds like a dumb bitch.
She actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous sex cult led by a child predator posing as a werewolf god.
I hate it when that happens.
The man had recruited hundreds of young children, subjecting them to... Almost 7 years later, Spencer and the other survivors shared their stories with me. This video serves as their scream for action against their perpetrator.
Alright, everybody caught up? Hang on, here's this again in case you haven't been caught up. This is a bad man.
At least
Bad
that's
man.
her side of the story. And her story has plenty of holes in it, as you'll see in a bit. Now, the internet already picked up on this when the whole thing about
Base Disco Elysium profile pic enjoyer, let's go.
Max was exposed, and everyone already became suspicious of Spencer's intentions. They suspected she's lying, but nobody had the actual truth until now. And recently, an alleged friend of Spencer came out explaining their story with
An
Spencer.
alleged friend. We find it hard to believe because she probably doesn't have friends. What's all this now?
Truth until now. And recently,
Known Spencer since I was 15. Camden did have Spencer come to Georgia. Never told me about the recruiting.
an alleged friend of Spencer came out explaining their story with Spencer and how Spencer has lied
She has no disability. I mean, look at her. Are you sure?
and manipulated her way through every situation.
She probably has gout.
There has also been some suspicious activity going on in the subreddit, such as brand new accounts joining, making posts about Spencer and then getting deleted, etc. So there's definitely something weird going on ever since Max tanked his career, and especially since we got him fired from the Casa del Paso thing.
Wait, whoa, what's this? Is this a new... What is this? Remove Max Striker... What is this?
Etc. So there's definitely something
Remove Max Striker's court-appointed child advocate status. I mean, these stupid petitions don't do anything. So, I mean, it's always cringe when people do this, but... it's amazing that society hasn't learned that stupid, silly online petitions don't really do anything. Unless it's like maybe getting a fucking new season of Futurama or something, but like, you know, not for something like this. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good, I would agree, you know, maybe we should petition to do that, I guess.
something weird going on ever since Max tanked his career, and especially since we got him fired from the
Did it
Casa del
work?
Paso.
Is this what it... I guess if this is what got him booted... from that job that he was in, then yeah, maybe it did work. All right, I mean, I'll eat my words on that. I mean, if this is what did it. This is from Max's former video editor. They're probably trans and owed $200 by Max, and they're never going to get it from Max. I do genuinely believe that Max should not be in these positions where he is court-appointed to children that have been abused. I don't believe that it's appropriate given how he has handled multiple events. Well, yeah, that and much more. I mean, again, it's just his bizarre mental fixation on children. I mean, for any reason that someone would have that, especially a non-parent, whether or not it's inherently sexual, they should probably not be around children.
So I'll go over each of her many claims about herself and about her past, and her life about Camden, the cult, and the life with Mamamax, starting with her past. Her first claim is that she was abused by her family, and this is one of Spencer's main lies. Spencer was not abused by her family, at least from what I gather. She grew up in a good home in Texas and had whatever she wanted. She was obsessed
Wow, jeez, what the hell happened?
with online serial killer roleplay and all kinds of other
Michael?
not safe for work stuff from a
There's Spencer NSFW? Oh no. Oh no.
When sex so bad, you just gotta go. As a sex offender, I'm quite surprised by this.
young age, and you can even see that from the Tumblr accounts and who she interacted with. She was also good friends with a person who wrote a lot of this roleplay, which I won't name right now, and this involved a lot of and serial killer roleplay, etc. So she most likely started believing all of this roleplay stuff she was involved in. Now, when she ran away from home, she alleges that her stepmother hit her.
I haven't seen that video before. Just assume I shouted, "Ah!" for that one too.
However, this person that reached out to me has a different story. So she was going to have her phone taken away, and she didn't like that, so when that happened, she physically struck her stepmother before running away from home. Spencer was never abused as a child, or abused at all. She did go missing when she ran away to a boyfriend, but she was not gone long. There was never a cult, it was a role-playing group. When her grandfather died, she went to live with Max because he was paying for her to do a story so they could make money on YouTube. I have seen so many videos on the internet about her, and everyone here is disgusted that knows her. She has claimed abuse her whole life. She claims to have disabilities, she claims she never went to therapy. Everything out of her mouth is a lie. I literally saw a video where she says her stepmother abused her. No, she attacked her stepmother when her stepmother took her phone at 14, so she ran away to be with her boyfriend in a role-playing group.
I mean, this is all just he said, she said type of deal as well, but it certainly sounds more in line with what I would believe at this point, based on videos and behavior from Spencer that I've seen, as opposed to all of this, like, wow, she's just another disabled victim. Wow. Hard to believe. There's just so many of them these days, I guess. This seems about more likely.
I know your videos haven't covered a lot of that story, but I'm just finding anybody that is willing to know that she was not abused. She has claimed abuse on her family, she's claimed abuse of friends, she's claimed abuse of people that have employed her.
I mean, it's all he said, she said, but if we have to believe any of it, I mean, this just seems more in line with what's been demonstrated by Spencer variously.
She says she can't hold a job due to disabilities, and she's a fraud. She was never thrown around in foster care, she went to a group home when she was found in Georgia after her and that Camden broke up, and she was found in a park and then was picked up by her family. She never
It's not that hard to believe that someone knows this person and went online to talk about it. I mean, like, is that the most far-fetched thing? This isn't so crazy. It's not, like, I don't know, it's not incendiary enough where I'm like, yeah, this is hard to believe. This just seems like very minor, like, yeah, she's kind of she's a fake person. She, lies about being a victim or whatever. Like, yeah, there's a lot of people like that. There's quite a lot of people like that.
To follow rules. She didn't want to go to school. She lived in a fantasy world online and the internet has ruined her. And now it's all about trying to become famous and making money. I also want to say this child from her whole story I heard online from the beginning is really disgusting. Shelby was a spoiled child who grew up with everything she's ever wanted. She lives in a fantasy world and is always a victim. She really needs to be in a mental hospital right now.
Sounds like somebody we know, chat.
Next claim is that she is disabled. Spencer often lies saying that she is disabled or has some sort of disability. However, that's far from the truth.
Now, there is no Papa Max chat member, but I did a few months ago roleplay in Cyberpunk as Papa Pedro, so that was close enough. He had a sword, called a katana called Leviathan that he used to cut off pedophiles' heads. It was great.
As far as I know, she has no diagnosed physical disability. In fact, according to my source, she has attempted to get disability payments by pretending to be disabled in court and carrying a cane. This is also confirmed by the recent post on the subreddit, which is posted by an old friend of Spencer. One of the things that they said is that Spencer tried to get disability checks but was refused. Now, she had a job at a vape shop, but she couldn't hold it down because...
Of course it was a vape shop. I mean, it was either gonna be like a vape shop, or like a tattoo parlor, or something like that, you know, you're really committing in a weird way. When you have those kinds of like face piercings and shit, you're really committing to like a certain type of life. You know, it's like you're now no longer able to be employed in any place that doesn't, you know, blast Def Leppard from the fucking speakers all day. That's just not an option for you, you know.
Because she had to mop a floor and she refused to do so because of her disability, or at least the disability she claims she has. But as far as I know, and as far as anybody I've talked to about this that's close to her knows, she does not have a disability or any diagnosed physical disability. Recently, she went online trying to get a lawyer to fight disability because she got a job and she said she couldn't mop because she's been trying to get disability forever. And she has no documentation for it, so she's been denied. So she pretends to be a victim all the time, and that's how she gets what she wants. This is also confirmed by that Reddit post. Now, one of the major claims that she makes is that she was abused by Camden and was involved in this huge...
Yeah, these two that look very happy together, they're abusing... She was abusing me!
Vampire cult. Now, Camden most likely...
It's for my coping skills!
...did not have any type of cult, at least not one as big as her and Max claim. They say he has hundreds of members in this cult, however, this is most likely just a role-playing group of...
Did she really say... I might have missed it. Did she really say she's too disabled to mop? That's great. I mean, I'm not good at mopping or sweeping, but it's not because I'm disabled. Oh, well, the sweeping, I can't really scoop up the shit easily with the disability. But mopping is a lot easier with that. You don't have to scoop anything. So yeah, I mean, you can't sweep maybe? Maybe you're too disabled to sweep. But mopping is not that hard.
A bunch of people who were really into that stuff. On one of Max's current unlisted shorts, there is a screenshot of a Facebook post by what he alleges was Camden himself. The icon at the top of...
Though, of course it's not immoral to feel bad for Camden. As far as we know, he didn't really do anything fucking wrong. He was just a high schooler dating another high schooler, and this whole thing, you know, turned into... Apparently they had like a roleplay group or something. And now he's like a... international sex trafficking kingpin pedophile gang rapist fucking cult leader who has hundreds and hundreds of victims all across the world. Yeah, of course we should feel bad for... He's the victim. He is the victim. Make no mistake about it. Camden Gerard Davis. Leviathans are coming for you. And those Leviathans are shout-outs because you are probably you probably didn't even do anything wrong, actually.
The post shows that whoever was seeing this post had to be a friend of Camden's on this account. But other than that, this pattern here I was able to reverse image search, and it turns out it comes from a show called Teen Wolf. The show is about, quote, a young...
Yeah, they got the standing dustpans. I could get one of those.
Werewolf who defends his town from supernatural creatures. This same werewolf, quote, must control animalistic instincts that are amplified by feelings of aggression and full moons. Now, this might not seem too relevant.
People tracked down their whole, like, cult thing, and it was apparently it was just like a Wattpad fanfic. It was some alpha and omega shit, I think.
But Spencer over and over again claimed that in the many interviews she had, that Camden forced her to have sex with him outside whenever there was a full moon. So it seems like Camden was role-playing this character from the show, that or Spencer just made all of it up.
Because, oh man, they made him woke.
She was a fan of the show or something. As I talked about before, she's into some really messed up roleplay stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me. Now, when she ran away from home...
So that's her. She's Titty Michael. She dresses up in a Michael Myers mask and does, like, TikToks and I guess like cosplay nudie stuff or lewd stuff or whatever. That's great. Why am I not surprised in the slightest? I mean, that's not at all. It's a little bit of a surprise, but not really. Just not really. You know, not exactly a surprise, you know.
Camden offered her to go live with him, so she ran away to Georgia to live with him. Just a few months later, she was found sleeping on a park bench and taken into a group home, until her family fought to get custody of her again and bring her home. The most likely reason for her leaving Camden is that Camden broke up with her and she didn't take that breakup very well. Did Camden abuse her? I can't confirm or deny. But judging from all these details I found, her history of lying, the recent Reddit post, and the story I got from my source, she most likely is at the very least heavily embellishing the facts of what happened. When she was back home, later on she reached out to Max through a friend who is Max's sister, and Max offered to pay her and give her a place
Yeah, but Max apparently also already knew her, too.
to live and, quote, help her make YouTube money. In exchange, of course, for her to be on camera and give her story about Camden. She most likely saw this as a good opportunity to get easy money and get back at Camden for the breakup. So it was a match made in heaven. He used her for the money and she used him for the money. Another one of her claims is that she was SA'd in Arkansas on her way to Camden in Georgia. She said she was SA'd on her way to Georgia in Little Rock, Arkansas. This happened according to her in the bus bathroom. However, Spencer is not this weak victim she tries to portray herself as. Her being essayed there without her fighting back or anyone hearing anything is most likely just a lie. Now, when she was booking her ticket in
especially not seeing anything. I mean, that's a lot of stuff to not see.
Dallas, she couldn't get one to Georgia because she was a minor at the time, but she did convince an elderly woman to buy a ticket for her, so she has been lying and manipulating her way at every step. The next claim is that she has multiple miscarriages. Even according to that same subreddit post,
the miscarriages that are medically not possible to have happened in the time span that she says that they happened, right?
OP explains that they found it odd that Spencer had that many miscarriages in that short of a time period. Now this one sort of ties into, her time with Camden. She alleges that she lived in Camden's family's home without them knowing. However, this most likely is not the case, since if she lived there for multiple months, for the whole family to not notice anything, I find hard to believe. The next and most recent claim is that Max is starving her
Yeah, vampires are infertile anyway. I don't think I believe any of this.
and abusing her. Max is most likely not starving her, and actually
Most likely. Yeah, look at the bitch. She's probably not being starved.
allegedly, Max has been using a food bank for some time now, at least since we got him fired from the Casa of El Paso thing.
Wow, good job. You forced him onto food bank. You forced him to eat only ketchup packets, everybody. That's what we all did. Congratulations, everybody. It's time for Spencer to finally go on a I'm sorry, I should,
And Max is even paying the money he owes her, around $5,000 in monthly payments of around $600. So he most likely does have some money left, but he just does not want to spend it, and he's trying to pressure Spencer into leaving or something else. Now, I've been in contact with the Mamamax discussion subreddit mods for some time now, and there has been some unusual activity going on in the sub, most likely Spencer or her friends making fake accounts, posting about Spencer to paint her in a good light, and then immediately deleting the accounts. There are even screenshots now of Spencer asking people to make posts about her in the sub, and allegedly she is currently back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area as of last week. So yeah, again, if there is any large YouTuber that would like to cover this, I'd be more than willing to put them in contact with my source so they can get...
Well, I don't know if I need a source. I mean, you just make more videos and I'll watch them and it'll be great. But thank you to Hadrian Dev, decent video, good stuff. Didn't annoy me. A lot of the time we watch videos on here and people are primed for negativity. I mean, that's just the way it is. People are here and they want to see cringe. And so we watch a video and it's like, guys, it's someone just made a video about this, and it's like, the video sucks and they're bad. And I mean, sometimes that's true. I remember we watched a Daniel Larson. We watched the second part of that documentary from Kusari, and it was just so horribly over-edited. It was like Mamamax. I think I probably pointed that out at some point, that it was like too many fucking effects and stuff. This was a fine video, 867 subs. Maybe give him some attention if you like videos like that, little updates and stuff. Let me see if I have anything here. Yeah, no one has been able to update me with the Spencer information. No one, as far as I can tell, has tagged me with any Spencer Mamamax information. Why does Sleepy have the deadwingdorkofficialstore.com? Sleepy. What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Yeah, I can get a Swiffer. I can get a Swiffer. Alright, I'm not really seeing anything about Spencer here. Yeah, I'm here right now. Raiding the Discord. I could maybe come back to the Spencer info. We'll move along for now from the Spencer Mamamax stuff. We'll move into next drama. Because there's other things in the title. And yeah, if anyone on Discord, there's been updates. She's been making posts about it. She's been like claiming he's abusing her or something. I don't know. I've been saving it for the stream, and that's stupid because that means I didn't actually save any of it. I just like mentally was like, I'll get to it. And well, now I'm getting to it, and now it's on you, everyone. It's on you, chat members, to get that to me. The Discord members. But we're gonna move along from now. From that for now, we'll get back to Mamamax stuff in a little bit if we get something more on that. But for now, we will proceed now. Super Origami Kingdom, everyone. We should be all familiar with them. Great guys, great guys. Origami Kingdom. Wow, 7% battery on this screen cap. That's amazing. Origami Kingdom, I guess, has a Discord channel. And at some point months ago that like leaked. It was on my subreddit, which I've never once checked and now apparently doesn't exist. Which I think might be in relation to that info, because I haven't been able to get that info. But there's been a post made. And I was tagged in it. Because the Super Origami Kingdom members, and you would be very surprised to find out some of these members, by the way. That's the real drama, the collusion conspiracy, or whatever's going on here. It might just be Discord names, it might be funny meme Discord names, but, well, I'll show you. Magical Mario Films. We have an emergency! Emergency! This dog. What? Jurassic. Let me guess, you got hacked too? Super Dio Ender. We've got Ender and Magical Mario Films here. No! Magical Mario Films says, we need to unite and fight Deadwing Dork. He is officially sexist towards trans people, and I am bisexual! Oh my god! They're taking me to war, everyone, and the Origami Kingdom has partnered with the Omni Kings! This is unprecedented! This is unprecedented! Well, at least that's Magical Mario Films' plan. Remember, he's like 10 or 11 now, and maybe 13, or 12. That's an age, right? You can be 12. He's a kid, and he's talking about being bisexual or whatever. Or maybe he got hacked. Maybe he got hacked, because I guess people have been getting quote-unquote hacked, so their passwords are like Mario123 or whatever. But Chad Peterson here, who writes some of Dogs Eating Dog 6's scripts, he says, we can't really do that. This community already has a bad reputation for expose videos coming off as expose videos. There's no A on the end of that. I'm making it more European than it needs to be, and who wants to do that? Coming off as harassment and bullying, so even if it's for a good reason, nobody would listen. You wouldn't listen? That's probably true. I mean, that's probably true. Magical Mario Films. Fuck this! I'll do it with or without you! But seriously, we need to unite. I'll leave a disclaimer. And if people don't agree, well, fuck them! Fuck them! He's not fucking around, guys. Magical Mario Films is angry. The sea was angry that day, my friends! Astro Boy here says, dude, you can't! And Magical Mario Film says, sorry, let me just, we are a nation America is a nation! I am in that nation! I am ending this! Now! And you can't do anything to stop me! I'm done with sexism! I'm so fucking done! I am fucking going to defend those that are other than male/female! So, let me make this clear. Don't try to stop me! I'm ending this bullshit! Once and for all! I became a better person because of all of you, and I will continue to walk that path! Anime Lit Josue FNF says, oh my god! And Magical Mario Films returns to say, I'm sorry, but I'll take my chances. And that's it. So I'm not sure what exactly is going on. I don't know if someone got hacked. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Omni Kings and Anime Josue, did they all patch it up and they're friends now? Is that what's going on? I never suggested you guys do that. That's a bad idea. Oh boy. What's the chat got to say? The Freedom Fighters, the United States of User Stan. Magical Mario Films is the hero we don't deserve. Hashtag poke the bear. He's saving the women's claw. Well, he's saving the transes. You know, remember, I hate trans people, as told by CineBear03. Decided that I hate trans people. But she's wrong. I hate all women and minorities. That's all women and all minorities. Fuck, people don't get it right. They're like misquoting me on this shit. I don't know what the fuck, how much more. It's right out of my mouth. How clear can I make it? So he's trying to save the people who are other than male/female from me. Because I'm, well, you know, here's the thing. Chad Peterson said that this is a bad idea because they have a bad history for exposed videos. You guys are officially exempt. You please go ahead. I mean, like, go with God. Do whatever you see fit. Please make yourselves a video. I hope you make it a good one. Without any fear. I hope you make it a great video. Please. I really look forward to it. Please, all of you make videos. If you got something to say, fellas, just say it. You know, make some videos about it. It's fine. Go ahead. I look forward to seeing them. Please. Please do. I can't wait. The 12-year-old is going to make a video about how I hate trans people. It's just going to be last week when the 13-year-old made a video about how I hate trans... Oh, sorry. That person's a legal adult. They just don't act like it. So... I'll do some super chats here. A couple super chats. We got more dramas to get into. Don't go anywhere. I'm just going to do a few super chats here. We got $2 from Dr. Grubius. Ooh, ee, ooh, ting, tang, walla walla bing bang. Thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance to do that. I love doing that. $2 from Jamos. Y'all got an affiliate link for those Amazon straws? Oh, the glass pipe straw things? Yeah, no, I don't know about that. Not yet. Ask Bane. $2 from Willem DeFriend. Somehow, Mamamax returned. $1 from Alan Sampson. No message, but thank you. $2 from Autistic Wolf. Oh boy, drama! Can't wait there! Oh boy! It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. $2 from Tivy2Vs. I was just about to stream Far Cry. Tomorrow, then! Well, I'm sorry to put off your important stream, Tivy, but, you know, adults are talking. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to put off your stream. Do it tomorrow. Do it later. Do it after I stream. It'll be great. To everybody, Tivy2Vs is going to be playing some fucking Far Cry. Go if he wants to do it after the stream. You know, I'm not, like, officially rating you, but, like, you go ahead. You can check it out. Or maybe he'll do it another time. He says tomorrow, maybe tomorrow. $2 from Alan Sampson. Here's to a good stream. Yap Dre, the fell-off bard. Yeah, well, I'm not really doing much of my barding anymore. This is 2 weeks without, 2 weeks without D&D, and I'm sorry, because I think both times it's been me that's been the weak link that's been like, yeah, I can't, right, this week. I gotta do a stream. What was it last week? I had the fucking, you know, the stream. I had that one last week. And then this week I've got, I got this going on. Important Mamamax info. So we're gonna have to do. But we've got sooner or later we're going to have televised, live, real-time Dungeons and Dragons, motherfucker, or whatever it's gonna be. It's a custom thing. To my understanding, it will involve certain individuals known to the stream, such as King Cobra, and that's all I'm gonna say. But it sounds interesting. It's a whole custom adventure, and we're gonna get some people together, and we're gonna do a thing. We're gonna do it on, I think Foundry is the virtual tabletop, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, in the meantime, hopefully we can get some more Time Titan excitement in. Well, we already did the Time Titan. We gotta go try to fucking tame the, Fire Titan or whatever. $5 from Found Footage. I wonder what antics Mamamax got himself into this time. Oh, the same old, really. Saxa with €5. Hi, Claw. Could we look at Beaver Soup? Angry Beaver's Iroguro fic that goes into the author's real life and criminal record. Autobiography/zoo manifesto. Yeah, I've got it bookmarked here. We might get to that tonight, potentially. We'll see how long I want to go. I'm kind of getting hungry. I put off lunch and then I just ate onigiri, and 2 onigiri is not really cutting it for a man-sized hunger, as they say. But if not, tomorrow probably we can get to that. Well, tomorrow I'm doing a podcast. Maybe Monday. Whatever. So at some point soon we will get to that. Definitely, I've got it bookmarked. $2 from Autistic Wolf. Ah, yeah, drama! Is Deadwing Dork anti-trans again? Oh, still. $5 from Agumon T1. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Yeah, the Leviathans are gonna come for him. It's gonna be great. $5 from Ray. Well, I need 4 Loco for this stream. I want to prepare myself. You're gonna need cocaine for this stream. That's the only way it's gonna be possible. I hope you have a good dealer on hand. Not that I would ever suggest such a thing. Cocaine, of course, I mean Coca-Cola. It's the street term for Coca-Cola. I don't have any Coke. I drank the last one before the stream, so I'm suffering for your sins. $2 from Alan Sampson. Raise the Leviathan, Papa Pedro. I don't have a Leviathan PNG. I should. I don't know what that would be. I guess it would just be Mamamax's head with laser eyes or something, big red eyes. Let's see here. Y2K Mermaid has become a member. Oop. Nope, we want to have that on. Y2K Mermaid. Thank you. Liquid Dinosaur member for 13 months. Thank you very much, but I'm a creep. I'm a user. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. That could be another. We could do. I mean, the thing is, the name of that song would just be "Creep," though. I mean, it would. The only thing that's changed there is the one word. User fits into so many contexts too, because it's just 2 syllables, a lot of good rhymes. It's very easy to rhyme. At one point in the Sex Offender I'm Surprised video that's coming out soon. Coming soon, very soon. I've been hyping it up, but it is coming soon. It's going to be quite a video. There's a video we look at in that video from Modern Day Leper. He has a video on his channel called Rape the New Way to Conceive. And he also has a video we didn't watch about having daddy's baby. So we might need to look into him again if he's still got a channel. But in that video, at one point, he talks about how politicians are the #1 users of sex offenders. And we didn't really ever find out what that means, I guess. I think we kind of figured, maybe, for political gain, I guess. He didn't really get into it. But that was pre-user era, so we didn't have an opportunity to... We didn't have an opportunity to really have a big giggle about him saying user, but it was there. It happened. $2 from Nico Carrero. Max's vid starts like a race site video. Do the roar! Yeah. Well, thank you for the super chats. We will be continuing now with some more garbage, some more trash and garbage. So, let me see if we got more... new mentions. We got new mentions. Mamamax is back again. I mean, Turkey Tom? Really? You're gonna make me watch a Turkey Tom video? That's the plan? We're gonna go live here and watch a Turkey Tom video. Is that what we're gonna do? No, he's just talking about the... Oh, well, he's...
Posting,
Yeah, okay, it's on YouTube Drama subreddit, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna have to go onto the YouTube Drama subreddit. Oh, God. You know, they loved IPOS and they don't care for me. That's... So that I know that much. Let me see here. So it's, Shut up, Tom. Shut up. Adults are talking. The truth about Spencer, submitted by you/HeyDiesel, r/Mamamax discussion. Right. The truth about Spencer. Isn't that about the fucking video we just watched? No, this is from 12 days ago. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, this is what I saw. So Spencer here on, I guess, Discord or whatever. So I ended up moving in with the YouTuber that was supposed to help me expose the cult as it was my last resort. Why are these people always on, like, 0 battery? The Super Origami Kingdom screen caps, they had, like, 7% battery. Why? Why is it always... Is that a meme? Is that, like, code for something? Is that, like, one of those fucking homosexual handkerchief codes or something? What is that? Like, you got a 7% battery on your thing. That means that you want fucking golden showers. What is that? I don't know. What does that mean? Why does everyone have, like, no battery on their phone at the exact moment? That's like, what have they been doing so frantically that they can't plug their fucking phone in? What the fuck? What the fuck? Every time! Phone addiction? I guess. You'd think if they were addicted, they would fucking plug it in. Anyways. He promised to cover food, medical, everything. Well, he only wanted to help for the money, so he never paid any of my medical from the start. What medical? You're not disabled. He was buying food at first, but then he tanked his career, which in turn has people convinced I'm a bad person like him, so people are stalking me online. No, people came to that decision independently of him. It's funny how quickly... You know, independence goes out the window the moment it can be like, oh, it's the man's fault. He did it. I'm a good person. No one could have come to the conclusion that I suck by my own fucking virtues. It's his fault. He did it. Good stuff. Let me see here. He wants to try and make money off of me. Okay. He wants me out because he's not making money off me, but still wants to try and make money off me. He got me a dog and had me move everything I own to anchor me. I figured out a foster for my dog until I can figure permanent housing out, but my biggest issue is needing someone... Why is there a comma there, of all places? Is needing someone willing to drive the full 18 hours from Dallas to here and here back. Who taught you to write like this? I have the U-Haul trailer figured out. Oh, you figured that one out, did you? You got other things to figure out, but you figured that one out. Okay. But I'm panicked because if I don't get out after my dog leaves on the 15th, I'll be stuck here until after my birthday and have no way to really feed myself. Insert joke here. Like so much bacon grease. Insert joke here. Let me see, is there more? Hang on. I think there's a second one here. Oh yeah, there's at least 2. Hang on. Open image and new tab. Oh boy. There's 3? Okay, there's several of these. Alright. He never paid any of my medical from the start. He was buying food, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I've been having to live off of donating plasma because I was limited to remote work and I don't qualify for anything remote due to my experience. I just need to be back near people I know. He's not physically hurting me, but he was withholding funds that were supposed to be mine since January. Saw me struggling to donate plasma just to feed my dog and myself. Gaslights me and also tried to convince me to break up with Michael. Oh, Michael, huh? Why is he not helping? What the fuck's Michael doing? Where's Michael's help in all this? He had $5,000 that he was supposed to give back to me as funds for the survivors of the cult. but everyone else fucked off. I asked for the money every now and again, but his excuse was always something about bills. I finally remembered again today, and he's taking $1,700 in expenses, so I only get $3,300, and he wants to do it in 5 payments of $660. Or this is confusing. I got my first payment today, but with covering my dog's transportation, my friend, to foster him, it's set me back a bit. If you make a post, please just don't name me, as people on Reddit are stalking me because of this YouTuber, and I don't want to add any fuel to their fire. But hey, even calling around means the world. I'm taking what I can at this point. So, unfortunately, that's a bit of a moment. But, yeah, Michael just kind of fucked off, I guess. Yeah. So, Spencer, standard, you know, kind of what everybody would have expected, I think. Just, you know, turn the tables on him once he was no longer able to really, do anything for, you know. Too long, didn't watch. Yeah, Titty Michael. Is Titty Michael his, is Titty Michael her thing? Is that who she's with? Titty Michael, her boyfriend? Is that it? I don't know. 6% phone battery? Yeah. Michael, don't leave me here! Give me a too long didn't watch. It's, yeah, just what everybody expected from Spencer. It's about what everybody expected. It's her throwing Max under the bus. Which, I mean, like, to be fair, Max seems like a weirdo. Obviously. Max seems like a crazy person. I would not be very surprised. He seems to be trying to gaslight everybody who watches him. So, you know, he's probably gaslighted her, to some extent. You just hear that word a lot, and it kind of doesn't mean anything anymore. But, you know, I'm sure there was some gaslighting happening. But, yeah, she's, thrown him under the bus. I don't know if she's still living with him. It seems like she's getting out. Seems like the chief witness of this whole thing, is no longer involved. So it's really interesting how Max is going to somehow continue doing this thing. I think we're all very excited to see how Max is going to continue doing this fucking thing. I think it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so great. Yeah, the Leviathans are finally coming. Chris Chan got a YouTube play button. Damn. How about that? I don't have a YouTube play button. Yes, shitty situation with no good guys, except potentially Camden Gerard Davis, of all people. I mean, we have no reason to think he did anything wrong, actually. So, yeah, this is about all the Mamamax updates. I mean, there's some other stuff I could show, but I've kind of just summarized it. The stuff with his, like, charity or whatever it was that he was working with. I don't really need to show that. We're going to move along from Mamamax now. Take a look at the next drama. And this is just another little minor thing. You know, nothing too huge. We're going to move along. In a couple minutes, we'll be looking at a funny TM video. I hope it's funny. I'm putting a lot of stock in it being funny. It's either going to be funny or we're going to watch the video about the beaver rapist. Maybe we'll do both. But, so, a little while ago, like a month or two ago, I did a video about Mightypups fanboy. And he was, you know, a user. He seemed to be kind of mentally, you know, not well. But he had a girlfriend. He was really into Mightypups and Inside Out 2. Not so much, well, kind of, he said that he was into the girlfriend. The girlfriend didn't seem to be very into him, and his whole thing seemed very performative. Like, he just, you know, someone with social issues who knows that they're supposed to say certain things to their girlfriend, but doesn't really necessarily feel it. That was kind of the vibe. It was very uncomfortable. He kisses her when she doesn't want to be kissed on camera. It's very weird. We looked at that. Oh, and also he has sex with his Mightypups plushie. But that's neither here nor there. We looked at that a couple months ago. And, you know, it was an interesting video. And someone was trying to get in contact with me. And maybe I could have done something to help them. Unfortunately, I was late to it. I was far too busy making pulled pork and playing Halo, amongst other things. But someone tried to get in contact with me about this fucking user. And they had a community post about it. And I cannot show you the community post because their channel is gone now. But the community post, I can show you some of it. Along with all of these notifications that Chud Logic is live. Wowee! Massive drama. Also Monopoly Go ad. But Kick Trolls Band Together Fan 2001 mentioned you in a post. Okay, it's very clear @Mightypups Fanboy is taking advantage of the DMCA copyright system. Without a doubt, Dakota is trying to hide his past from the world. Yeah, I got mentioned in this like a couple days ago, as it says 2 days ago. And in that time, it all seems to have gone to shit for our boy Kick Trolls Band Together Fan 2001. He sent me an email from 3 days ago, which I did not read until now. Mightypups Fanboy and my recent experience with him. Hey, Deadwing Dork. I wanted to get in contact with you because this is... So he types with every first letter of every word capitalized, so that's great. Just imagine that I'm speaking like that. I don't know how to speak like that without it being very annoying. I wanted to get in contact with you because of Mightypups Fanboy, aka Dakota Harvey. I used to be friends with him throughout 2019 and everything like that. Recently, Mightypups Fanboy has gotten super defensive towards me since I made a video about him a few days ago. So far to the point where he has abused the copyright system twice to take down my videos, which he has done successfully. Anything that I talked about, from his boring/awful video to him saying the N-word hard R and homophobe slurs, to stalking a movie theater employee and getting him fired. What the fuck? Up to your video about the uncomfortable moments with his girlfriend and how he does special deeds with his Chase plushie. All of that is covered up by Mightypups Fanboy due to a copyright strike he issued to me on the second upload of the same video. It would be fantastic if we can get in contact and talk about this. It would be a massive help on my part. Well, unfortunately, your channel's fucking gone now, so it's a massive L on my part. Unfortunate, sorry. But, Mightypups Fanboy apparently has been up to some bad things. You're not supposed to do that, Dakota. Dakota, leave the copyright abuse alone. Yeah, so I guess this guy was up to some more wacky shit that we need to maybe look at at some point. Thank you at the very least for informing me that there's more fucking oil in that well. He seems to be a copyright abuser, so that's unfortunate. Of course, I have the fair use bear, you know, I've been around for a little while now, and I think that he might have sent me, like, a copyright abuse thing. Like, I don't know, but, like, if I had to guess, they might have just immediately thrown it out, because it's obvious that it's, you know, fair use, and it's just, like, you know, not a real report. But yeah, it's always troubling. I mean, maybe he didn't, I don't know. It's always troubling when this happens. I mean, maybe it was just a direct re-upload of his videos. That's the one thing I'll give you there, Kick Trolls Band Together Fan 2001, or whatever your name is. I will give you that. If you were just directly re-uploading his videos, then that's kind of a problem. That's not fair use. You know, I would say you should just be able to, but the fact that he would be able to call what he does copyrightable would be fucking amazing. Like if you can really copyright that type of content, then that's really kind of sad. But yeah, if it was just direct re-uploads of his videos without any added content, that might be a bit of an issue there. That might be what led to your problem. So, you know, maybe, I mean, if you make another channel, whatever, re-upload the stuff, but maybe add some parts where you make it like that Cine Bear video about me, you know, make it really good. Add some parts where you, you know, add some parts where you just, like, summarize what just happened and go, like, he just said this, and that's bad. You know, like that sort of thing. You should do that. I want to learn more about him, stalking a movie theater employee and getting him fired. That sounds really interesting. I want to know more about that. I might need to look into that. I mean, he's probably removed those videos from his channel, so that's unfortunate. But, with that, I think we're out of the drama segment now, folks. We're done with drama. I'm so fucking done with drama! This year it's new year, new me! I'm gonna move on from the drama, and I've got an interesting video that I'm gonna bring to you now. I hope that you find it interesting, anyway. If you're here for fucking huge, big drama updates, well, this isn't really a big drama update of any sort. However, it is relevant to some recent drama that happened. Because I got this recommended to me recently. I've never watched this individual before, and I don't even really know much about what happened recently. I did not watch any videos about it, but I saw the discourse around it. This guy Xanderhall threatening to kill Keffels or whatever. I don't know the exact specifics, but it seemed like he wants Keffels dead for one reason or another, which, I mean, who doesn't? But he has this video from 4 years ago that got recommended to me that I thought would be really funny to take a look at. I thought it would be really up my alley, and it might really teach us something, Chad. I thought this might be a good learning experience for all of us. Unless it's boring and he sucks, but we'll see. How I fell down the alt-right pipeline and escaped. We're gonna learn about the rabbit hole. We're gonna learn about the pipeline, everybody. I should do a whole stream about the pipeline, because we got the alt-right in tabletop games, the alt-right playbook over here. Oh, man. I got so much alt-right pipeline, it's shooting out of my fucking ears. This is so great. I love the alt-right pipeline. It's almost as good as the lefty pipeline, but less expansive and less, less influential, and anyways.
Alright, hello everyone, it's Big Puncher. As those of you who've been around on my channel for a while, you may notice that this is a new microphone and my sound quality is way better. This is the Blue Spark SL Blackout Edition. This isn't sponsored or anything, this is just my first time using this new mic and I love it. I also just hit 15,000 subscribers on my—
Wow, early days of Xanderhall. He's at 90,000 now. But Xanderhall, you know, big BreadTube channel. I mean, he even has hashtag BreadTube in the video description. So you know it's like a real deal BreadTube video. You know it's gonna be good. He's gonna mention Marxism at least once. It's gonna be great.
My YouTube channel, and as promised, in the coming weeks, I will be doing a stream where I read The Conquest of Bread live in its entirety, but I do have some preparation I have to do, so that'll be somewhere down the line. In the meantime, the day I'm recording this video is pretty close to the 8-month anniversary of me being a bread tuber. If you were around for it—
So, to my understanding, most people involved in that sphere don't really self-identify as bread tubers. I remember specifically when Quentin Reviews called himself a bread tuber, everyone thought that was embarrassing. So I don't know about that. I mean, but okay, whatever. Everyone loves labels these days, so hey.
My debut on this side of YouTube was back in April.
Someone said,
when
is
I
he
released
12?
2 videos telling the story of my political journey. I discussed how I went back in April when I released 2 videos telling the—
Oh my god, oh, these look like also really good videos. How I almost became alt-right with PewDiePie in the front and center of it. That's good. How I escaped the alt-right with, appropriately, Sean and ContraPoints are there. That's good. They're gonna get you away from the alt-right, absolutely.
Story of my political journey. I discussed how I went from being an apolitical liberal teenager to falling down a rabbit hole of hateful far-right content and social spaces that influenced my political views very heavily.
Same.
And then, of course, how I got out of it. However, I have to
Oh, okay, that's where we differ.
admit that my original 2 videos were poorly made by my current standards for a few reasons. For starters, I didn't really take YouTube as seriously back then, so I kinda rushed the script. I didn't include quite a few things that in hindsight
Yeah, you're taking it seriously now that you're a bread tuber.
were very important and very relevant to my radicalization. I also wasn't even a leftist when I made those videos. I was still identifying as what I now know to be a neoliberal, so my political views have changed even more since I made those
Are you like the bad guys from Disco Elysium? I don't like that.
videos. And I think where I am now politically is
Actually, that's not true. I was the bad guys from Disco Elysium.
really relevant to the overall
I'll leave that up to you to determine what I mean by that.
story. I've also learned a lot about YouTube, politics, and radicalization these last 8 months.
I don't know if H-Bomber guy is a bread tuber, but he, you know, all of the bread tubers flock to him. It's weird. His video about plagiarism was like, you know, pretty good, I guess. It was fine. It was a fine video. I remember it being pretty good. It was long and everything. You know, and the way he, like, rug pulled people with it being actually about another guy, but starts out about other people. You know, it was a pretty good video, but people have really taken that and shoved it up their ass over the last year. I mean, you can't go fucking 2 video essays without hearing something about, like, a joke about plagiarism and H-Bomber guy, and I'm just kind of fucking getting sick of it. H-Bomber guy didn't invent plagiarism, but he did H-kill a guy.
And when I look back at those 2 videos, I really can't help but cringe. So, in light of all this, I decided to essentially remake those 2 older videos and create a remastered version with better audio
Thank you to the new pinned message.
quality, editing, a less rushed script, and a more holistic approach to telling the story. This means that I'm not just going to be telling the story from
Holy shit, get on with it. Get on with the story. Is your holistic approach to fucking story or whatever is just you fucking yapping?
my point of view.
See, I could say the yapping meme too.
Also be
It's great.
interjecting to add context to certain events, describing the political landscape online or in America at certain points in the story, as well as adding a few disclaimers about some of the creators I'll be discussing as well. With all that said, hopefully you enjoy the remastered telling of how I fell down the alt-right rabbit hole and how I got out. To properly tell this story, I need to start—
Thank God you got out of the alt-right rabbit hole and aligned yourself with a different extremist political philosophy on the internet. How good for you.
Start with how I was raised before even having access to the internet, because as I now know, there's a lot of real-life factors that make someone susceptible to falling down the rabbit hole. I was raised from the ages of 3
Reminder that this guy has recently threatened to kill Keffels. Just a reminder, I'm going to be mentioning that periodically throughout the video. Every couple of minutes or so, I'll just mention that.
10 years old by a single mother. My biological dad and mom never married, and I have no memory of my biological father. I was also a single child. Since I was being raised by a single mother who came from an already not very wealthy family, we didn't have much money growing up.
Since I was raised by a single mother, I was probably going to become a misogynist, but, you know...
We sometimes moved
Somehow I
around
got
the
out.
Tampa area from apartment to apartment as the rent got too expensive for us to stay any longer. My mom identified as a liberal and a feminist. She taught me that I should treat everyone equally, no matter their race, sexuality, ethnicity, or gender. She explained to me what racism, sexism, and homophobia were when I was pretty young, and since my mom wasn't religious or anything...
You see, that's where I got off. No one ever explained to me about racism, sexism, or homophobia. I just kind of had to, like, intuit that being mean to people based on the premise of something they can't control is a bit cringe and wrong. You know, based on, like, moral values or whatever. I didn't have anyone have to tell me that, you know.
I was never taught to believe in God or any superstitions. So growing up, even at a very young age, I was pretty socially progressive. In fact, if you asked me, I probably
He was like fucking Lisa Simpson at the age of 8. He was everyone's 7-year-old who was, you know, posted on Reddit for fucking karma and updates.
Understood to a degree that rich people were stomping all over poor people like us who could barely get by. If I remember correctly, I heard the terms liberal and conservative for the first time when watching an episode of American Dad. And my conclusion after
Many such cases indeed.
the episode was that, yeah, I was a liberal. I wasn't racist, homophobic, sexist, and the show gave the idea that those were things that conservatives were. This was probably my first real interaction with politics, even if I was like 7 years old at the time. Things weren't all-
That is interesting. I mean, people, you know, it's arguable that after 9/11, people just were, in the US especially, but even in Canada and the English-speaking world, pretty much were unavoidably going to be drawn further into politics. I mean, you could avoid it before then, but so much media became inherently about, like, terrorism and George Bush and whatever, and yeah, eventually some kid is gonna watch American Dad, and that's gonna be his first understanding of politics. So, I mean, it's interesting to hear that.
Always perfect between me and my mom.
Good morning,
In fact, they were
USA!
oftentimes bad. Me and my mom fought a lot. She was overly strict, yelled way too much, like over just about anything. And to this day, I don't really like her because of it. I know this all seems like way overly personal, but I promise it's all extremely relevant to my-
No, this is better than the part where he's just talking about his fucking microphone or whatever. I mean, people are probably bored, but I think it's relevant to know about his background and stuff. I do think it's interesting enough.
radicalization.
I mean, he's boring, but, that's neither here nor there.
In 2008, it was time for Bush to leave the presidential office, and this was the first time an election happened, and I was old enough to remember it. The primaries came down to Hillary and Obama. My mom voted for Hillary and my grandmother Obama, and Obama ended up being the Democratic nominee and then the president. My family was pretty happy when Obama was elected, and so was I. He held beliefs I was pretty sure I agreed with, and most of all, he was a black man.
You know what's... Oh, is that what does it for you? Okay, well, I had my suspicions, but, it's alright. Well, what's funny is if John McCain had won in 2008, he would have been, like, one of the last... He would have been, like, I can't think of another Republican politician that I can name since him who is, like, a respectable individual in the way that, like, I would want somebody to be a president. Like, John McCain was a good guy. He would have been a fine president. And everybody since then has been like a corporate stooge or a retard or or something. It's like we lost the best hope at a decent potential alternative to something, crazy right-wingers or whatever left-wing, but no, John McCain's dead, and what do we got next? Ron DeSantis? Don't worry. It's gonna be great.
I was alive to see America's first ever black president, and this was a big deal.
I had to vote for him. He was black.
Man, I was alive to see America's first ever black president, and this was a big deal. This is a huge historical event. I know this may not seem like much now, but this gave me the idea when I was young that racism and other kinds of bigotry were dying out, going extinct, at least in America. My thought process was, how can a country full of racists and white supremacists elect a black man to lead it? At this point in my life, I just developed the assumption that any bigots that are still out there were either in hiding because it's socially unacceptable to be intolerant, or living out in the middle of nowhere playing the banjo and fucking their cousins. I learned about the Holocaust.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that that's, like, still sort of the image of, Like, he should have learned from this that issues of race and stuff like that are more nuanced than just, like, people are racist or they aren't. And, to just label people generally as, like, oh, they're out in the fucking boondocks fucking their cousins. No, it's, like, a deep system of, like, how you treat people, how you perceive people, whatever. Like, there's a lot going on there. So, nowadays, 20 years later or whatever, we're just, 15 years later, 16 years later, we're instead doing the thing where we're like, oh, instead of they're all out in the wilderness playing the banjo and fucking their cousins, now it's they're incels and they're 4chan users and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the same thing. You've not really learned... People like this haven't really learned anything. I don't know about this guy specifically, but a lot of other people that I've seen that would be potentially victim to hashtag breadtube being in their description. Note the word victim. it's a lot of like it's not humanizing people or trying to understand why people are the way they are. It's just sort of like a different. We've gone from one silly stereotype to a different silly stereotype, and they're both too broad and, largely speaking, untrue.
Holocaust and slavery in school, but they taught me that the Civil War was about states' rights, and that the Nazis had all basically died out after World War II. In my young, naive mind, all these things happened a long time ago, and they didn't really have an impact.
Yeah, but Nazis did basically die out after World War II. There's like fringe, tiny groups of weirdos that organize out and fucking, you know, I mean, comparatively tiny. They might be able to get together a few hundred guys or whatever, but like, it's not like it was, dude. Like, yeah, they are comparatively a lot less powerful than they were in World War II. Yeah, I would say so. That's not incorrect.
On the world anymore. When I was younger, we didn't have a lot of money, like I said before, but there was one thing I loved to do more than anything, and that was playing video games. I had a variety of consoles my mom or my grandma...
Are the Nazis in Antarctica now? Is that a new thing? I didn't know about that one. That's new. Alright. I knew about Argentina, or like Venezuela or whatever, you know? But like my old German grandpa who lives in South America. You know, that meme. But I didn't know they were invading Antarctica now.
I got for pretty cheap at yard sales or flea markets, and I would play games on a computer when I could, but I never had consistent access to computers or the internet until I was 10 years old when my mom met my stepdad. He's a cool dude, and he holds the same political beliefs as my mom. Nowadays, they're both neoliberal Buttigieg supporters, with maybe Bernie as their second choice. But not long after they started dating,
that's too far right for him.
More money was coming in, and after we moved to an actual house, we got internet, and I got an old desktop PC. Finally, I was able to browse the internet at my leisure. Not at a school computer lab or a public library. It didn't take long for me to get way...
I just love the concept of that. Like, finally I was able to browse the internet. And cut to tertiary update that Xander Hall recently came under controversy for threatening to kill Keffels.
More into YouTube. Before getting my own computer, YouTube was just a website full of cat videos and pivot stick figure animations we would watch on the school computers when the teachers weren't looking. But with unfiltered access to it, I discovered the gaming community on YouTube.
Oh, he became a gamer!
The idea of just recording yourself playing a game and uploading it to YouTube for thousands to see, making money from it, it blew my mind. Eventually I would discover a new game called Minecraft, the first online game I would ever play.
This is just so... I'm sick of this world. Can we get off?
When I was asked to make a...
Like, there's nothing wrong with Minecraft inherently, but it's just like, I don't know. Just like, this whole thing, I'm just sick of hearing this type of story from people, you know? I learned that I could play video games on the internet and that was gonna be my life and I had to be famous from it someday, and it's like, I'm just sick. I'm just so sick of it. I'm just so done with it.
Username, I chose PigPuncher368. Since the first thing I did on the free version was punch a pig, and 368 were the middle 3 digits of my grandmother's phone number, and now you know the origin of my username. At this point, I was only 10 years old.
Yeah, are we getting the gamers made him racist?
On YouTube, at least not in the communities I hung out in. You see, back then, everyone was trying to grow their channels and potentially create a career for themselves, and this meant that being controversial was counterproductive. One of the unofficial rules of being a YouTuber at the time was never talk about politics. Since no one I ever watched expressed their political opinions, and I always had this stereotype in my head
wow, shit was better back in the day.
White dudes out in the country who were never on the internet, I just kind of assumed that all these young YouTubers I was watching were liberals, or at least not racist or homophobic or sexist. Things continued
I can't wait until we get into Gamergate. You know, chat, I fucked up. Because I was supposed to have a Gamergate-related video out this year. It'll be out at some point. Like, I guess not for the anniversary, which is like today or tomorrow or yesterday or something. But it has been roughly about 10 years since Gamergate, give or take a couple days. Since the Zoe post dropped, yeah, you know, in the coming days, I think September 1st was when I made my first Twitter account. So like we're almost up on it, you know. It's been 10 years It shouldn't last this long.
This for a while, until 2012, when I was on the internet for the first time during
We're getting up there. We're getting to Gamergate. 2012. It's almost time.
Presidential election. The election was between Obama and Romney. Now, most YouTubers kept to the rule of not talking about politics at this time, but some channels I watched did cover the topic of the election. For example, Epic Rap Battles of History made a video where Obama and Romney have a rap battle, and Abraham Lincoln drops in on a giant bald eagle to endorse Obama. Obama was elected for his second term, and political talk in these parts of the internet I hung out in kinda ceased. However, as I got more into online gaming and it became more popular, something big happened. What we would now call the boomers escalated their assault on video games. If you're old enough to remember, the largest figure leading this video games are bad for kids and cause violence crusade was a Florida lawyer by the name of Jack Thompson. Most of the younger people watching probably won't remember him because he's since been disbarred and is totally irrelevant nowadays, but back then...
Why are we talking about this in the 2010s? That guy was relevant in like the mid-2000s.
It was the gaming community's biggest enemy. All sorts of YouTubers and even just normal gamers united to tear this guy a new one. They would cite studies that refuted Thompson's claims and would make fun of the mainstream news media for platforming him and their out-of-touch conservative beliefs. All of this cemented my belief that the gaming community is full of a bunch of young people who are smart and progressive and understand that the mainstream media and conservatives are out of touch. We would point out that conservative media would often use violent video...
You know, I just assumed that politics were that simple, and I was shocked and dismayed to learn that it's more complicated than that, and people have a variety of issues that they care about, and, you know, maybe they might agree with you on that, but disagree with you about other things, and that makes them more conservative than you, or something. You know, there's a lot of nuance in the world there, buddy.
Games is a scapegoat for school shootings when
We're
clearly
gonna have to
access
speed
to
him up.
firearms and
There we go, now he's sped.
Mental health was the real issue. Sadly, even my neoliberal parents fell for this trap and would rant at me about how CSGO is going to turn me into a terrorist. You're probably wondering what any of this has to do with the alt-right rabbit hole, right? Well, I promise, it's all relevant to my story and of many others my age who had the same experience. When Gamergate came around, everything changed.
Yay!
Gaming community Yay! And so did dark and edgy humor, and still am. But around this time, the most popular memes went from this...
Chocolate rain. The school books say it can't be here again.
A song about institutional racism still being prevalent and inescapable. Yeah, that's actually what Chocolate Rain is about, I'm not even kidding. To something more resembling this.
Mrs. Obama, I've done it. I've stopped racism. Thank you, Skipper. Now I am free to roam this earth. Not if I have anything to say about it, and I do. I'm gonna say the N-word.
Now granted, we weren't quite there yet, but looking back, the comedy on YouTube was definitely taking a turn. Now when Gamergate came around, I didn't even pay much attention to it. I was one of those people who heard about it and kinda knew what was going on, but I was too busy playing Minecraft to really care. I heard it was about gaming journalists taking bribes from developers to write positive game reviews or something, but then I heard my parents mention it. They'd been watching the news, and the boomers on there said something about it being a misogynistic neckbeard brigade to get women out of the gaming industry. I already believed the mainstream media hated gaming for whatever reason, and anything they reported about it was probably false and a smear against...
So Xander Hall became a based pro-GG bad boy. I see. Now it's all making sense. Right, he fell down the same fucking pipeline that I did, the alt-right pipeline. This is a very interesting video, chat. Me and Xander Hall have a very similar experience. I just haven't said anything publicly or privately about wanting to kill Keffels.
The gaming community. So when I heard my parents saying these kind of things, I just sort of rolled my eyes and ignored it. So I just sort of went with the idea that Gamergate was about ethics and gaming journalism. This all happened around the same time that I was becoming a teenager, and like most teens, I wanted independence from my parents. My mom was very strict, and I found myself rebelling against her in whatever ways I could get away with. And I found myself questioning my beliefs since I wanted to be an independent person, not just a carbon copy of my parents' beliefs. Around this time, my views of feminism and women started to change as well, for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
For starters, when me and my mom would argue, she would often claim that I was talking back because she's a woman and I don't respect her because of that. This obviously wasn't true, and if it was just that, I would have just rolled my eyes and moved on. But around that time, I was in middle school and trying to find my first girlfriend. Problem is, I wasn't the best looking guy back then, and I got rejected by every girl I liked. This led me to browsing...
Wow.
Problem is, I wasn't the best looking guy...
Wow, Xander Hall as a little kid looks like Big Joel now. If he, like, if he cleaned up.
Then, and I got rejected by every girl I liked. This led me to browsing some strange corners of the internet for advice on girls. I frequented Yahoo Answers, where I would ask questions and advice on how to get a girl, and I would read other answers to people's questions that were similar to mine as well. The consensus in a lot of these answers was that women only like jerks, and nice guys finished last. That infamous slogan that I imagine led many guys to becoming incels. Also, a lot of the TV shows I watched portrayed feminists as being man-hating and violent, such as the scene from an episode of That 70s Show where the main character, Eric, goes in to kiss his girlfriend in a park when her hair gets stuck. An awkward scene ensues where he's trying to get the hair unstuck, but he accidentally yanks her hair, making her scream a little. This results in a group of feminist protesters that were near.
Yeah, guys, he's getting radicalized by Key-rah and Yahoo Answers. That's right. This is what I'm saying. You shouldn't allow people to... We gotta ban the internet. It's the only option.
Mistakenly assuming that he was assaulting her. They run up and strip him naked, beat him up, and write pig in Sharpie on his forehead and send him home naked. Not long after, we get this scene.
Yeah, I'm real proud of them. They stole all my clothes.
Man, I love...
Yeah. On top of all,
I love getting copyright struck by Fox.
I didn't really see any apparent reason for feminism to be necessary. As far as I could tell, women had equal rights. I mean, they could vote, work a job, and were generally treated the same as men to me. So while I didn't hate feminism and think it was evil or anything yet, at this point I started to see it as somewhat useless and misguided. I believe the stereotype that feminists were just ball-busting man-haters. However, I still thought that misogyny and sexism were bad, and I was repulsed when I saw an undeniable instance of it in real life or media. I also never at any point went full incel, but I did spend some time browsing incel before it was banned, and while I didn't agree with the worst of what was being said there, I have to admit I agreed with some of it and even felt cathartic to read it. I mostly enjoyed reading the "a few millimeters of bone makes the difference between a Chad and an incel" memes. This was before I got braces and developed the chiseled jawline I have now.
Started fucking mewing everybody.
Even if I was basically wallowing in self-pity, it did feel strangely good to know I wasn't alone. In 2015, talk of the 2016 election started, and at the time, Donald Trump was a meme candidate. I mean, nobody took this guy seriously or thought he was going to go very far. I mean, he spoke like he was illiterate, was surrounded by scandals, and no one thought he would be president.
Yeah, nobody except for all the people that voted for him, I guess.
Even if the mainstream media was constantly talking about him. However, as the months passed and more scandals came out, such as the grab her by the pussy comment and the KKK endorsing him, his supporters became louder and more numerous. In hindsight, I now know that bigotry hadn't died in America like I thought when I was younger. It was just hiding. And now there was
racism's still alive, they'd just be concealing it.
Who thought like the bigots, and was dumb enough to make it obvious. He didn't even bother dog whistling, so even the dumbest reactionaries knew he was on their side. I never liked Trump. I didn't even like the memes supporting him.
Oh, thank God you told. Thank you for clearing that up.
Ironically, the only time I thought they were a little funny was...
It's funny, like, he is willing to say that he agreed with some stuff on the incel forum or whatever, but, like, he's not willing to say that he liked Trump or anything. I don't know, maybe this is just early days. He might go full radicalized and wind up, like, doing a hate crime, in 10 minutes or something. We gotta wait and see.
When Filthy Frank would do it, because that was very clearly satirical, like this, for example.
You're looking kinda sexy, Donnie. You make me kinda hard, Donnie.
I still didn't care all that much about politics, but with such a divisive election on the horizon, it was just inescapable. Arguments about who's better, Trump or Hillary, started in every comment section, every Facebook post, and every Twitter thread on the internet. Back then, if you were online, you couldn't be apolitical. 2016 was
yeah, I mean, there's an element of it, too. Someone in chat's like, what about all of the commies that align themselves with the left? I mean, it's just fine. People don't have an issue with being a communist because, I mean, like, as much of a one as you have with being a Nazi, because, like, I mean, being a Nazi, I guess, has been, like, completely tied with, Hitler. I don't know if there's any other, like, it's just National Socialism, right? It's a political ideology. And one would think that it would be as, legitimate as the same, like, a political ideology that can be also tied to, like, a horrible dictator who killed millions of people and ruined his country. On, whatever, who gives a shit about the fucking political spectrum or whatever, like... I mean, if one of them is fine, I don't know. It is weird that, like, being a Nazi and being a communist are, like, so differently viewed, when it really, I mean, ultimately it's like LARPing as some country that had a lot of deaths that you weren't there to experience. It's some loser in the future being like, well, actually, Mao had good ideas, man! Or, of course, the infamous, it's never actually been done right. Which, like, why don't the Nazis ever do that? Why don't they ever just go like, yeah, man, well, Hitler was bad, but, like, it's never been done right. We need someone to come along and do it right. You know, I don't know. It is interesting that, like, it's totally okay to be aligned with the party that had the other mass million killing dictator, but, you know, not...
Big year, and the election just became a background meme for me for
a while. When we do
I got my first job at this place as a lifeguard, and when I was 16, I got my first girlfriend, and broke up with her because my parents made me, and got a varsity letter for swimming on my high school swim team. However, in July 2016, only a day before my 17th birthday, my grandmother died of lung cancer. She'd fought it for a year, but she wasn't able to beat it. She was my best friend, and actually the most progressive person in my life at the time. She participated in a lot of pro-choice marches and protests when she was...
So grandma died, and he was no longer... progressive. He no longer had that element in his... Did you go to her funeral, or did you play Mario Brothers 3? This is important.
Younger. Because of what I now know as toxic masculinity, I felt like I shouldn't cry or talk about how much I missed her, even when I was completely alone and no one would see. So I didn't. I kept it all bottled up. Only a few months later, in September, tragedy struck again when a hurricane called Hermine came, and it brought massive flooding with it. My whole neighborhood was flooded, under a few feet of seawater. We lost furniture, family photos, I lost my...
Sounds like you had a real rough time, man. You know, I gotta be honest. You know, I've heard Papa Gut talk about it a couple times where he says, like, he's empathy fatigued. And that's kind of the way I feel, where it's like, people always describe their fucking horrible situation that they had, and I'm just like, man, I'm sorry, everyone had some horrible things happen to them. Like, most people have had, like, a couple of really bad days, you know, or, like, a couple bad months in their lives. I don't know, it's like, you know, sometimes it's relevant, but so often I'm just like, yeah, so, I mean, like, I'm sorry that happened to you. It's not good that it happened to you, but it doesn't really, like, change how I'm feeling about anything that's going on. I mean, but I guess this is, it's context for where he was in his life, but, I mean, a lot of the time I hear this and it comes across as, like, sympathy baiting.
PC.
Maybe not right
lost
now,
our whole
you know.
house, so now we were homeless. Thankfully, we had flood insurance and enough money that we could be able to get a new place after we saved up for a while, but we needed somewhere to stay in the meantime. Thankfully, a coworker from my stepdad's job invited us to live in their guest house for a couple months. They were a very nice lesbian couple who owned a farm and had a couple of horses, and if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have had a place to stay. We ended up finding a new place and moving there with what we had, just a week before the 2016 election. At this point, the consensus was that Donald Trump was racist, sexist, homophobic, and an idiot whose supporters were either all of those things or just stupid, while Hillary Clinton was the lesser of two evils. Well, we all know what happened election night. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. More than 1 million more Americans voted for Hillary than Trump, but because of the Electoral College, Trump won the presidency. I have to admit, I was really disappointed in my country. At this point, I was still a liberal, I was still progressive, and I hated to see that an open bigot had won the presidency.
Yeah, I was doing fucking dances in my living room when Trump won. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. Not a big fan of the guy now, but at the time I was just so against Hillary Clinton because I thought she was such a duplicitous piece of shit that I was like, I've said it before, thank God Trump is at least super honest and open about what a piece of garbage he is. He will tell you up front what a piece of garbage he is. Everyone knows what a piece of garbage Trump is. But people really thought Hillary was, like, on their fucking side or something. It was sad. I mean, people still think that about Trump, too. That's even sadder. But, you know. Yeah, he's not willing to tell you on his journey down the pipeline, you know, that he was secretly pro-Trump. He's not willing to tell you that, but I'll tell you that. God damn it, I'm the real deal Xander Hall. I'm solid Xander Hall. Oh, where are we going? Oh, boy. Mightypups fanboy there. Hang on.
Two evils. Well, we all know what happened election night. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. More than 1 million more Americans voted for Hillary than Trump, but because of the Electoral College, Trump won the presidency. I have to admit, I was really disappointed in my country. At this point, I was still a liberal, I was still progressive, and I hated to see that an open bigot had won the presidency in America. I didn't have my gaming PC because it was destroyed in the flooding, so I spent a lot of time watching YouTube on my phone to take my mind off the new president. But everything on YouTube was either Trump won, what the fuck are we gonna do, or haha Hillary supporters crying compilations, you know? However, there was one video on the topic that stood out. It was a video by a channel called Chris Raygun, and it was called Alt-Right.
Chris Raygun made him alt-right!
Then Weekend Recap. I clicked it because I'd seen his videos in my recommended before, and I was surprised at how entertaining he was. He reminded me of a mix between iDubbbz, Justin Roiland, and the guy who made Invader Zim.
Oh man, you're really putting Chris Raygun in some extremely good territory there, aren't you? You know, I don't know anything about the guy who made Invader Zim. He looks like someone that would eventually be made fun of on this channel, but you know, let's just say 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
I mean, seriously, come on, the resemblance is striking. Now, before I go any further, I want to clarify that Chris is not an alt-righter, a Nazi, or even a conservative. I've talked to him, albeit briefly on Twitter. And
is he also a pedophile? Okay.
Seems like he wants to separate himself from his older content, which admittedly had some really bad takes in it. In this very video, for example, he says that this clip of Richard Spencer Sieg Heiling and yelling "Hail Trump" is probably just trolling. To his credit, it's pretty obvious that Chris didn't know who the fuck Richard Spencer even was back then. I certainly didn't, and I don't think most left-leaning anti-SJWs did either. That doesn't make Chris or any of these other left-leaning anti-SJW YouTubers completely innocent of spreading harmful misinformation like
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Jonan Vasquez or whatever, I've heard the name, yeah, apparently not a great guy according to chat, so that's good. 0 for 3 in that one, unfortunate.
Back then, but
poor Chris Raygun.
It is important.
He has to be friends with Anissa Joma, and he also gets compared to 3 other losers.
To talk about why stuff like this happened. I think that a lot of it had to do with the mindset that everyone in the anti-SJW community had when it came to the alt-right and racism. They seemed to believe, much like I did, that racism and bigotry was basically dead in America. Sure, there were some individuals who held some very negative beliefs, but there wasn't any actual systemic in the law discrimination that was easily pointed out or spotted. Because of this, they were susceptible to mistakes like Chris made in this very video, where he's supplied with what should be enough proof to show Richard Spencer is a Nazi, but his response to that proof is basically, well, who knows, the mainstream media and the SJWs are calling everyone right of them a Nazi, and even if he is a Nazi, who cares, he's just one
he's sped up and he's still so slow.
Guy. In hindsight, I know that hate groups started to rebrand.
Despite being a sped, he's still just a little too slow.
And restructure themselves back in 2015. No one was going to support an ideology whose members march around in white cloaks or swastika tattoos screaming white.
Okay, why did the chat members say that he was also a pedophile? I'm getting one guide by people in chat that say that Jonan Vasquez is like also a bad guy. I've heard the name. I thought I heard it in bad context. Maybe I'm wrong. I know nothing about this user. I'm sorry to Jonan Vasquez and his kin. I'll pay reparations someday.
Power, so they took their recruitment to the internet, and they rebranded themselves. They didn't call themselves white supremacists or neo-Nazis anymore, they called themselves white nationalists, or white identitarians, or the alt-right. The more cowardly of these kind nowadays call themselves libertarians, and then just dog-whistle their racist beliefs to their audience. But back then, the alt-right's representatives weren't buff dudes with shaved heads wearing wife beaters, they were clean-cut, tall, well-spoken men in suits. The trap that me, Chris, and his peers fell into was intentionally set to make people believe that Richard Spencer and his colleagues' ideas were palatable, or at least...
Okay, but people in chat are also, and I've heard this one before many times, and I think this is true, Richard Spencer is like a Fed, right? He's like a federal, like, plant that's trying to, like, weed out people that might be, you know, problem people or whatever. Like, he's like a honeypot individual. Isn't that his whole thing? I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that a lot. So, like, him actually... The actual, negative impact of Richard Spencer, maybe they didn't... Did we know that 4 years ago? I feel like we knew that 4 years ago.
Respectable. You would be surprised how easy it is to sway someone into defending white supremacy if you package it right. The consensus among a lot of people on the left side of the anti-SJW community was that all ideas should be allowed to be safely presented, and as long as you debate them in what seems like good faith and keep your cool, your ideas are valid. You would also get the more centrist takes like, I may not agree with a neo-Nazi, but I will kill or die for the right to free speech. So I want to say again, I don't completely blame Chris for some of the mistakes he made back in 2016 during the peak of anti-SJW YouTube. I mean, if I did, I would be a hypocrite. This whole story is about how I was radicalized to the right in 2016. But it was a really weird time for a lot of political YouTubers, and most of them regret the stuff they've said, so don't go harass them on Twitter or anything, please. So to summarize the content that Chris Raygun made back then...
I will say this video is not... If I had seen this 4 years ago, I feel like I probably wouldn't have hated it so much. At this point in time, I find it very funny because, once again, reminder that this guy has very recently been threatening to kill Keffels. among other crazy people things. He's kind of like gone off the deep end a little bit. I don't know what led to that, but like 4 years ago, I could see myself maybe not totally hating this video. It doesn't seem super combative so far. I mean, we might be getting to that. It doesn't seem, you know, I mean, like, I'm picking it apart now, but like, I could probably see myself, you know, watching it and not having too much of an issue so far.
And it basically made a joke out of all the things going on in politics.
But it is interesting. I'm glad that I watched this.
On its own. But ideas such as Richard Spencer is probably just a hardcore epic memer who's trolling the mainstream media had been put in my head, even if it was a misinformed accident. I started to binge all of Chris's videos. I really enjoyed
But like, he is a Fed or something, so it doesn't really matter anyway.
them. However, the ideas that were communicated through his content did start to change the way how I thought about things quite a bit. The best way I can summarize my change in thinking and worldview is in 2 song parodies made by Chris Ray Gunn himself.
God.
One is a parody of The Times They Are A-Changin', and the other is a parody of We Didn't Start the Fire. The main idea of these 2 songs is that back in the day, we gamers and young people in general had to deal with old, out-of-touch conservatives doing things like blaming school shootings on violent video games and technology, and people like Jack Thompson trying to get games banned. However, in the latter halves of the songs, the tables are turned, and he starts to show clips of feminists and SJWs saying that video games cause sexism and violence against women. The implication of this is that back then, conservatives were the enemy of people like us, gamers, but now the SJWs and feminists were the ones that were out of touch and attacking the gaming community. As cringy as it may be, if you're a young straight white dude, chances are, if you want to take on a label and be part of a community, that label is going to be gamer. From there, the YouTube algorithm did what it does best. It recommended videos from similar creators around this.
Well, I was about to say a joke that would get me into a lot of trouble with a certain group of people that I'm already in trouble with, so we'll just leave.
This time, I also discovered Shuonhead, who made some videos that she's admitted she doesn't agree with anymore, and after seeing all these examples of feminists and SJWs being crazy and stupid and even violent, I started to take on the label of anti-SJW, and even anti-feminist. Now, this doesn't mean I didn't support women's rights, I certainly thought I did. However, I said a lot of things like, I'm not a feminist, I'm egalitarian, I care about women's and men's rights. I remember one night I was staying up late watching a Shuonhead video when she brought up a movie called The Red Pill. This was the first time ever encountering this term besides seeing The Matrix. I never watched the Red Pill movie itself, but I did watch—
Oh no, hang on, we got important information from Almighty Loli with $10. The irony is that Xander snapped because it was revealed he's being paid by a DNC super PAC partially owned by Brianna Wu. He's literally paid to spread political propaganda. Progressive victory. Hell yeah, dude. I love politics. It's great.
June's cover of it, and it
the right has the Koch brothers, the left has this guy.
A lot of my beliefs and brought up a few new ones. For those of you who don't know, The Red Pill was a documentary made by a feminist named Cassie J, chronicling her experience interviewing several prominent men's rights activists and—
So wait, so he's like correct the record? He's correcting the record right now, everybody. It's great. He's
attending several MRA rallies. Cassie comes into this whole thing very skeptical of these MRAs, but as the documentary continues and she talks to them more, her opinions of these men changes, and she is pleasantly surprised by how nice they are. To her, they don't seem like women-hating pigs like she'd originally assumed. Yeah,
if this is true, then like nothing he says matters. I guess this whole thing is just like him. I mean, this is literally the lefty pipeline. I mean, alt-left, whatever you want to call it. Like, bread tube. This is the left-wing pipeline. He's on the pipeline. He is part of the reverse of the pipeline. This is what I always talk about, is like, they talk about the right-wing, alt-right pipeline. And it's like, who's talking about it? It's a guy who's literally being funded by the fucking Democratic Party of the United States of America to talk about the pipeline of the alt-right. Like, fuck off. So wait a second. So Richard Spencer is a government prop, like Fed glowy prop. And then also this guy is paid for. Huh. It's interesting. Connect those dots. I wonder what picture that draws.
All sorts of issues men face that are oftentimes not talked about in the mainstream media. Things like men's suicide rates, injuries, and deaths in the workplace, and homelessness. Not only that, but the rallies that Cassie attends only have a few dozen MRAs, and they're outnumbered by feminist counter-protesters who are portrayed as antagonistic and mean. They yell and picket and call the MRAs pathetic as they talk about genuine men issues. While I didn't have the money at the time to watch the movie, I saw a bunch of clips of it through anti-SJW coverage of it. Seeing a documentary about a young, misguided feminist realizing that women women actually have it way better than men felt cathartic for me. This was only magnified when I discovered a video by PragerU called The War on Boys.
Oh, hell yeah. Now, see, I don't understand, though. Okay, well, this... Oh, that's a good pause frame. This, like, skips over anything to do with Anita Sarkeesian. He mentions Gamergate, he mentions Jack Thompson, but I don't think he mentions Anita Sarkeesian, which is interesting, because I feel like she's kind of important in this dialogue, especially if you're bringing up Gamergate, and if you're bringing up PragerU, because we've determined, like, on the podcast, Loud Equals Funny podcast, we determined that, like, PragerU and Feminist Frequency are almost identical to one another. They have the same background, even. It's like 1 or 2 shades of blue apart. It's like the same fucking color. And it's just like a boring loser talking about politics and you know, fucking propagandizing, basically. And it has no flair or style or substance. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, you're a young man and you watched PragerU? I guess it's possible. I'm sure plenty of young people watched PragerU, but that shit's so fucking boring. But then I'm like, wait, but people watched Anita Sarkeesian, so I mean, I guess if it aligns with your worldview, even if it's boring and sucks, you'll still probably listen to it. So, you know, yeah, sure, he watched PragerU, whatever. I mean, who knows what he says is true, because if he's being paid for by the fucking government or whatever.
Boys. This was a video of a feminist by the name of Christina Hoff Summers, someone who I now know as a TERF, who'd have thought, explaining that boys are being targeted and put down in the school system.
Hang on. $10 from the almighty lolly. It was revealed because he was stupid enough to make his editor his accountant and made him handle the payments. The editor sent the money from PV to the wrong, Progressive Victory to the wrong account, and it was up to $4,000. Damn. So, Progressive Victory, a Brianna Wu funded super PAC. By the way, that's Moonrocks Wu. He's talking about TERFs here, by the way. Brianna Wu is like I don't know if there's a term for it when you're like trans, but you like regret being trans or whatever. She's like anti-trans now. She's like turning over a TERF leaf. So I don't know how that factors into things now, but, you know.
The combination of these videos made me feel oppressed. It may sound dumb, but as a straight white dude who's been told I was privileged my whole life, it felt good to have someone, a woman no less, explain to me that there's actually an agenda out to get me, most likely being perpetuated by feminism. I don't think this was the intention of Chris Raygun, Shoe-on-Head, or any of the other YouTubers in the more left-leaning part of the anti-SJW community, but regardless of intention, this was the result for me and a lot of other people. After watching their content for a while, I started to think things such as Antifa is a terrorist organization, SJWs are ruining media, colleges are SJW hellholes where you will be assaulted just for being a straight white man.
Okay, well that goes a little far, but like, dude, are we supposed to pretend that's not true? I mean, they're not going to assault you for being a straight white man, but, you know, if you don't have all your progressive paperwork in order, they are going to give you the stink eye. You know, if you walk in there and you're wearing a fucking ball cap and jeans and plaid like me, you know, you're probably gonna get people looking at you a little funny. Because, you know, you don't have a rainbow pin somewhere or like some kind of piercing or whatever. Or because you have a hook hand, but that might be a whole different thing. See, they're secretly actually ableist, too, but that's a whole different thing.
It wasn't like they were just telling me these things and I believed them. They showed videos of it happening, too. For example,
someone says that we paused on a clearly you don't own an air fryer type of face. Is that a genre of emotion? Is that like dorselessness? I think that's one of those.
Video of a white dude with dreads being yelled at by a black woman in a lecture hall about why his hair is offensive. A video of an Antifa member bashing a guy in the back of the head with a bike lock. And I discovered Jordan Peterson through a video by Chris where he featured a clip of Peterson in an argument about pronouns with a student. Through a combination of shoutouts and collaborations and the YouTube algorithm recommending me videos with the same metadata as the ones I was already watching, I started getting into people who were...
So you're not even talking about the alt-right pipeline at that point. You're just talking about YouTube's fucking algorithm. Like, the alt-right pipeline he's describing is ultimately just YouTube saw that I liked this video and it had similar metadata to this other video. So YouTube's fucking algorithm happened to, you know, push that. I mean, like, yeah, social media sucks. I mean, there's a lot of fucking problems with YouTube. That's one of them. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. That's true. It's definitely true. YouTube's algorithm will push you towards more videos of the type that you've watched. Yes.
Bit more extreme, like Sargon of Akkad and Thunderfoot. To my credit, Sargon wasn't quite as pathetic as he is now. At the time, he was pretending to be a liberal and claimed he was on the left. As for Thunderfoot, he stopped doing the anti-SJW stuff a while ago, and he does cool science videos now that are actually quite good. Their content was definitely drier and a lot more boring than Shu or Chris or Armored Skeptic or The Amazing Atheist, but at this point, I was down for it as long as it had an anti-feminist slant. I believed at this point that feminism...
Dumb Feminists compilation triggered number 47. That's my shit. I loved This Week in Stupid that Sargon used to do. I used to watch Sargon. I forget what it was that finally made me realize that Sargon was a retard, but like, it eventually happened. I did eventually realize somewhere along the line that Sargon's a fucking retard. I don't know exactly what event it was.
Was out to get me, and not just as a straight white dude, but as a gamer. It was the anti-feminist stuff that pushed me down the pipeline the most, probably because that part started as far back as when I was 13 years old in arguments with my mom. She didn't make things any better in 2016 and 2017 either. One night I fell asleep watching an Amazing Atheist video about feminism on my phone, and she came into my room to check on me while I was sleeping. I woke up to my phone gone the next morning. I went to ask her if she'd seen it, and she began yelling at me, calling me a woman-hating misogynist. Apparently after the Amazing Atheist video ended, the YouTube autoplay eventually queued up some video of a feminist getting beat up or something like that. My mom was not happy, and she took my phone away and called me a woman-hating pig. This just pushed me further down the pipeline. By early 2017, I believed that feminism was simply
I'm going down the pipeline, Ma! I'm going! The pipeline!
And that they were out to destroy men as payback for the past or simply because they wanted supremacy of some kind. I binge-watched Sargon videos where he ranted about Gamergate and Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu and the evils of feminism destroying Western culture. At the time, it didn't seem like baseless rants to me because he always had some BuzzFeed article about manspreading to use as an example, and that was all I needed to be convinced that these people were a real problem. I learned that not only were the SJWs and feminists after me, they were after my video games too. They called gamers misogynist neckbeard losers. They said that the option—
Hey, at what point does he, like, turn the tables and explain that none of that, like, was true or something? Because, like, at what point does he... Because, I mean, at this... Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they're just... It's the same political machine operating in a different way of trying to, like, ban things and censor things and, like, make people think it's their idea to want things to be banned and censored and stuff like that. I mean... It sounds like it is basically how you're describing it. I don't know.
Kill a stripper in Hitman or Grand Theft Auto was sexist when it's literally just an option. They scammed their fans with GoFundMe's asking for $100 grand for a YouTube series.
Oh,
they wanted to use—
is he finally talking about Anita?
Just an option. They said that this after me, they were after my video games too.
Yeah,
they called gamers misogynist neckbeard losers. They said that the option to kill a stripper in Hitman or Grand Theft Auto was sexist when it's literally just an option. They scammed their fans with GoFundMe's asking for $100 grand for a YouTube series.
He's given us a lot of reasons to be on the alt-right pipeline, I gotta say. I haven't even watched a PewDiePie video recently.
They wanted to use a progressive agenda to inject gay people and women into video games and sacrifice the quality of the story or gameplay if that's what it takes. And you better believe I wasn't happy about a black guy being on the cover of Battlefield 1 because it's historically inaccurate. Oh, and God help you if you had to hear me rant about Ghostbusters 2016. I had a lot to say about that. Things continue—
You're not... It's like you're embarrassed that you held these beliefs, but I gotta tell you, like, a lot of those, like, okay, your examples, Last of Us 2 is a game where they, in a lot of ways, did kind of, you know, they kind of dropped the fucking ball with the story, and they had weird scenes where, yeah, they talk about bigot sandwiches, and it's just, like, really on the nose. Like, it did have that element to it, and the game was not great, and people didn't really love it. It wasn't, like, a huge fucking success. I mean, it was, as far as those games are, you know, but, like, it wasn't as much of a success as, like, the first one. And then Battlefield 1, yeah, why... I mean, yeah, it's a cringy corporate decision to be, like, inclusive in a game that's, like... Yeah, I guess it's World War I. It's got there's people in it that are not white, sure, absolutely, but they're, you know, it's World War. But like the cover of it or whatever, like there's still reasons to be like, okay, this is not exactly the imagery you're thinking of with World War I, right? I mean, like, I don't know. And then Ghostbusters 2016, where it's like, yeah, that movie was another corporate mess. I mean, it paid for by Brianna Wu's super PAC. Like, I don't know, he's talking about these things, and it's like, you're not really bringing up why, so far anyway, why, like, any of what you're talking about, like, shouldn't be scrutinized in some fashion as being kind of like a weird, you know, political marketing technique, campaign thing, whatever. Like, more people will watch this if we call the haters misogynists, you know, like with what happened with Ghostbusters. Like, Ghostbusters was marketed on, like, a fake news media campaign that called all the people that weren't happy with what, you know, looked like a really shitty trailer, misogynists and everything. That was like, I'm almost certain that was proven in one of those Sony leaks. Maybe that was before, though. I'm not sure, but I think it was proven that they did actually, like, pay for a lot of media that was just like, the hateful, misogynist fucking Ghostbusters fans, they're bigots. And, like, that was like most of the media surrounding that movie. There's every reason to complain about that fucking movie, and he's not really talking about why, oh, actually, secretly, I've come around, I'm not radical anymore. Ghostbusters 2016 was great. Last of Us 2 was great.
Continued like this for a while. My beliefs started to get more extreme until I decided to stop calling myself a classical liberal. At the time, I thought that meant like a liberal who's also edgy and makes offensive jokes like in the 90s. My number one example would be George Carlin. I had this idea in my head that liberals used to be cool and counterculture, but now they'd all become pearl-clutching, easily offended SJWs, no better than the pearl-clutching...
Man, why did this guy get paid for by Brianna Wu? Is it because I called Brianna Wu names 10 years ago? It must be that. I got off on a wrong foot with you, Brianna Wu. Listen, come on the podcast. We'll hash it out. It'll be great. You'll put me in your super PAC. I'll start making breadtuber videos. I mean, I have almost the same background as this guy. It's remarkable. Why I am not the shill right now, but he is. I mean, not to say that I ever would be, but, like, I'm offended that I wasn't given the option, honestly. Like, yeah, I would have looked at the email. I don't know.
Easily offended conservatives of 2008 and before. I didn't take on the label of conservative. Instead, I called myself a libertarian. Then I started supporting Trump because...
yeah, I thought I was a libertarian until I saw the What is Aleppo guy. That ended real quickly.
Triggers the SJWs and the feminists who are out to get me, so why shouldn't I be out to get them? And I also started getting into friend groups that supported my views as well. Around this time, I got my gaming PC fixed and was really getting into a Minecraft...
God, he really can't shut up about the gaming PC. That's like an important element of his... Like, you think about this as an interesting, like, video it's from the reverse perspective of what we're watching, because he's talking about the alt-right pipeline. But he's been, at least recently, I don't know how long ago this extends, maybe it was this far 4 years ago, he was still being paid for by some kind of, you know, probably not, because it's Brianna Wu's super PAC. I don't know how long she's had that. I don't know, but, like, you know, he's like a shill, right? He's like a shill, so, I mean, allegedly he's all around. He's like a shill, so... when you watch him talking about this, and he's talking about the pipeline, and he keeps tying gaming to this. Like, maybe it is just innocently him talking about his experience, but it's like every time, just like the audience of my stream might forget that this guy recently got in trouble for threatening to kill Keffels. I think it's, again, I guess because Keffels talked about him being part of this super PAC or something. I don't know the whole drama, but, like... yeah, wanted to kill Keffels. You know, me bringing that up, it's sort of like, I forgot where I was going with that, but it was really funny and charming, I assure you.
Friend groups that supported my views as well. Around this time, I got my gaming PC fixed.
Oh, right, the gaming PC. Yeah, he keeps, like, apropos of nothing, bringing up the fucking gaming PC for no reason. Like, I guess it's your journey on the political fucking thing, but, like, why... It's you mentioning gaming constantly, and then telling me that the lefties aren't trying to, like, do anything to gaming. I mean, it's not really painting the best picture. I don't know. It's like you're a shill bought and paid for by a government thing. You're, you know, like, yeah. Now you just keep bringing up. Anyway, so I was getting more and more racist, and my gaming PC was already almost ready to go. I was gonna commit some real atrocities in Minecraft when I got my gaming PC. He's gonna go on to detail how he set up like an Auschwitz in Minecraft on his gaming PC. And that's gonna be how he got radicalized by the pipeline.
Really getting into a Minecraft server called 2b2t.org. If you don't know what 2b2t is, it's the oldest anarchy server in Minecraft. This is a server with no rules whatsoever. You can hack, cheat, say anything you want, and I mean anything. To give you an idea, it's often called the 4chan of Minecraft servers. It even has green text in the chat. When you log in, it's basically obsidian swastikas as far as the eye can see, and slurs flooding the game chat. In fact, here's a recent render of the spawn area on 2b2t where a giant
How could you not give me a trigger warning for that, dude? I know someone who's German. Like, that's really... I know at least 2 Jewish people. That's really offensive.
Obsidian swastika, hundreds of blocks wide, is being built by a group of a few dozen players. Now, this may seem irrelevant, but it definitely isn't. A lot of people in the...
I mean, it isn't, because he is about to talk about how gamers are racists and stuff, isn't he? I mean, there's no way we can escape JonTron racist, gamer racist, PewDiePie N-word. We're gonna get to PewDiePie N-word soon.
The right have been trying to cover up the existence of the alt-right pipeline, or rabbit hole, whichever you'd like to say.
It's the pipeline, Jerry!
To think a bunch of YouTube videos can turn people into Nazis.
George, you're not on the pipeline! Stop freaking out! Jerry, I'm on the pipeline! No, you're not!
And this is obviously a straw man of the entire discussion. No one's saying YouTube videos are turning people into Nazis. However, the YouTube algorithm is partially to blame. But
you played Minecraft. You didn't ask for this. You didn't choose this. But now, you're a Nazi.
The biggest things that pushed me further than anything else at this point was the far-right social spaces. You see, on 2b2t, you won't last long on your own, so you have to join a group sooner or later. The people who you meet and the groups you join on 2b2t are interesting to say the least. I think the most progressive thing I ever saw on this server was this one trans girl who was part of a group called Hyland that everyone would call our friendly neighborhood trap. If I recall correctly, she was only even allowed to join as long as she would use her feminine voice to trick the leaders of other groups into inviting her to their bases, and then she'd get their coordinates.
Yeah, we need to see more videos that dissect the trap thing. I mean, that's been like, I guess it's like a slur now or whatever, like people made it a slur. And I guess I understand to an extent why. It's a negative thing, sure, but like, there's a lot to be said about 4chan's idealization of like being the little girl, the trap, the maybe we can play pretend together, Anon, that kind of shit. Like, and how that kind of, I don't know, I feel like there's something there. I feel like that might have led to some things. I don't know. I have no proof of this.
We call this inciting a base, or a group. All the groups and people I met on 2b2t were at least a little conservative or pretending to be for social credit, while many others were full-blown, proud, and on 2b2t, socially accepted Nazis. I ended up joining a group run by a 15-year-old whose Minecraft name was, unironically, Women Are Objects. To be fair, I betrayed him and gave his base coordinates to the leader of a group called the Imperium, which I joined and am still part of to this day.
He got recruited into an SS unit in Minecraft. Many such cases.
Is every voice channel and text chat that's 2b2t related was really, really edgy. I'm talking slurs being thrown around every few seconds, Hitler memes, sometimes even links to videos of people being beheaded by ISIS. It was gnarly. There was even this video of a black child being run over by a train.
So he's talking about Minecraft, right? Like, he is talking about a Minecraft server that was too edgy for him. I mean, like, I get it, dude, but, like, it's children, you know, like, children are on the internet are gonna do some fucking shit, you know? I mean, like, how old were you? I guess he was also a children? But, I mean, like, come on, dude, it's a Minecraft server. Fucking, what are you talking about?
People would often post. I found my views and my behaviors being influenced heavily because of peer pressure from friends I made on this Minecraft server, and even just being exposed to it all the time. As time passed, I got desensitized to the worst of it, and the kind of stuff I said and believed got way worse. Sometime in August, the Unite the Right rally happened. I never watched any mainstream news coverage of the event since, you know, fake news and all. The people I watched, like Sargon of Akkad, Andy Worski, No Bullshit, Gavin McInnes, they pushed the idea that not only were the protesters justified in their message, but the mainstream media was trying to smear them by claiming that one of them murdered a counter-protester named Heather Heyer, who'd actually just died of a heart attack because she's an overweight feminist. I believed that, until one day a video of the event popped up in my recommended. It was footage taken from a phone, and it showed what happened to Heather Heyer at that rally. I watched as, sure enough, a car came out of nowhere and started barreling through a group of protesters. I saw her get hit. It was very obvious that that guy who was in the car killed her, not a heart attack. This was kinda crazy for me, because I always trusted these anti-SJW YouTubers when they said these things. If they made a claim about something happening in a video, I wasn't gonna go out of my way to find out if it was real or not and learn the
Okay, but like... People can't seem to operate on a level above, like, sides cucking or whatever. You know, where it's like, my side doesn't do that, your side does that. It's like, dude, there's a lot of cases. There are literally many such cases of, like, lefties doing exactly the same kind of thing. I mean, that's just called being, like, a political shill for money. Like, that happens. That's all over the fucking place. That's, like, you know, from, like, the nerdrotic people or whatever to being, you know, to like, the Hassan people. Like, it's all over the fucking place. Whatever you want to say, grifter, however you want to fucking call it. I don't know. It's like, it's not...
Context of the situation. I mean, let's be real here. But now
He's paid to spread propaganda, exactly. Like, you are part of this. I don't know how long he's been... Do we know how long he's been getting paid by this fucking thing? I guess we don't, probably. But at least recently, he's become a shill for money to secretly spread propaganda, which, like... Reminder that, like, FD Signifier, one of the big people in the BreadTube community, is openly proud about, like, being a propagandist. You know, the classic, everyone does propaganda. that shit. You get a lot of that shit. So yeah, when you see these people that are being paid by fucking, you know, nebulous, weird, skibbity forces, you gotta be aware, gotta be careful. Just, don't, you know... I don't know, because you often do wonder that. Like, that's so interesting to see this guy being paid for in that way, allegedly, all around, right? But, like, because that really answers a lot of questions. It's like, why do these people do this? Is it just a part of the culture? When you see, like, Noah Samson making a shit-ass BreadTube video that just, like, sweeps for some stupid shit? Is it because of the fucking... Is that just what the culture feeling? Or is he being, like, paid for to, you know, no war and bossing say? Is that what's going on there, you know? It really makes you think.
I realized that these people were capable of making mistakes or even just lying to me, and maybe I shouldn't trust them as much as I did.
Skibbity Forces is much better than Sonic Forces. I give it an 8 out of 10.
What can I say? I was a naive 18-year-old at the time who was trying to find his place in the world, and these figures seemed like they had the right idea. I felt like I was in on a secret political ideology that all the normies didn't know about. I was the truly enlightened, and I understood that the SJWs were taking over mainstream media, and they're the real threat. For the next few months, I kept doing what I was doing. I watched white nationalists like Stefan Molyneux and Lawrence Southern, and they taught me all
it's kind of scary because I watched this, and I mean, he is so relatable to me, the way he talks about his past and his experience with Gamergate or whatever, and a lot of this is kind of like, yeah, this is how I wound up being fucking taken in by Breitbart or whatever, like Christina Hoff Summers, I remember her, based mom, as they called her, Milo, and all these fucking people, you know, people who were just ostensibly, like, conservative politicians or whatever, or, like, 2 steps removed from them. Because, you know, I thought, oh, they're the ones who really, you know, they really care, or whatever. I thought, like, you know, they're not gonna use me. They just want to, you know, have an alternative to the narrative, or like whatever about Gamergate, you know, that kind of shit. Like, I relate to this, and so when I listen to this and I know that he's apparently bought and paid for, it's like, man, I said earlier, I could see myself watching this a few years ago and probably thinking he was alright. But, yeah, shit. I mean, that's how they get you, isn't it? That's how they fucking get you.
About the Great Replacement. Thankfully, I never went much further than, maybe something should be done about whites becoming minority of the population. But I was still pretty far right. And depending on your definition, I was alt-right. Personally, I like to say I was alt-light because saying I was alt-right makes me feel pretty gross. Also, some say you have to believe in the Jewish question to be considered a full-on alt-righter.
See, this is funny to me because even as someone who, you know, was doing We Are the Champions in my living room, much to my dad's dismay, when Trump was elected, I would never have considered myself alt-right. It's interesting that he claims he's even alt-light. I don't think I would have ever put myself on that level. I think I was always just like perhaps a more right of... I mean, I think I even still always considered myself a leftist to some extent. I mean, not a leftist. That's a gay term. A left-leaning individual who is not affiliated with any skibbity forces on the internet. like Brianna Wu. Although send me an email and we'll talk numbers, you know. But like, I don't think I would have ever called myself alt-right. It makes me wonder how much of this is true. Because, like, he seems like he's trying to, at the very least, describe the sort of situation that I would have been in. But, yeah, I mean, I don't think I would have ever considered myself that. I don't know how many, there's certainly people that would have, perhaps. But I think even among my circles of people that were a little more edgy or whatever, it was still, the alt-right was still kind of a fucking joke. I mean, like, I don't know how many people, I mean, not like even, like, a funny joke, but just like, you know, not something to be taken seriously or anything. I don't know. So, yeah, it's interesting. He claims he was an alt-righter, but he's also not willing to, like, commit to any real beliefs that he would have had as an alt-righter or alt-light or whatever. I mean, I don't know what does that mean? Because, like, alt-right is already kind of a fucking nebulous term. You know, but, like, an alt-light implies you're just, like, a centrist or something, right? You're, like, an edgy centrist, which, I mean, we don't need more destinies, but,
Take on the JQ at the time was that, while I thought a hive mind conspiracy to cause the Great Replacement among all Jews was ridiculous, it was pretty interesting that so many positions of power were held by Jews. Now, before I talk about what pulled me out of the rabbit hole, I want to add a bit of a disclaimer.
Is he going to refute that? Like, is he going to tell me a reason why that's not interesting? Like, it seems weird to posit an idea, and then I hope he has, like, a refutation to that, where he's like, well, obviously the reason for the Jews in the positions of power, and he's going to give me an explanation, right? And it's not just going to be an open question of a Jewish nature, if you will. It's not going to be an open question where I'm just left to, like, think about that on my own, right? That seems like a bad way to make a video like this. It's like the Ghostbusters thing. It's like, you're telling me that you used to be against Ghostbusters. You're not going to tell me why you suddenly realized that you're no longer against Ghostbusters 2016. You're not going to tell me what, you know, I mean, I have a feeling he won't tell me that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll see. But, I have a feeling he won't tell me what made, you know, oh, well, I realized that Ghostbusters 2016 is a wonderful piece of, like, whatever his explanation is going to be, if there is one. I don't think there is going to be one, you know?
I haven't listed all of the channels that I followed and watched during this time. There were just too many anti-SJW reactionary channels that I followed for me to mention them all. To give you an idea, I would often pop into a video from a channel with an animated avatar ranting about feminists or SJWs whenever I got bored and wanted something to listen to. But as I went further down the rabbit hole, I saw the old stuff that I used to watch as sort of lesser. Like, I was more into watching videos about mass immigration now and about how feminism is destroying Western society. So when I look back at people like Chris Reagan and Schuonhead, I saw them as the blue-pilled ones. I remember thinking that they had access to all the same information I did, but they never took the extra step to understand that feminism is a
reminder that he's part of apparently Brianna Wu's super PAC Progressive Victory. Brianna Wu, of course, being a trans detransitioner, I guess, or whatever. Some people in chat said that's the term, where she's like trans but she's now like gender critical or something. But more importantly, she's pretty openly, you know, pro-Israel. So, you know, as he talks about his dabbling with the JQ or whatever, it's someone in chat makes a good point that, yeah, I wonder what his feelings are toward Israel now. I wonder how that, you know, how that's changed over time.
Annoying joke or something to make fun of, but a threat to all men and the West as a whole. So, sometime in December of 2017, pretty close to when I uploaded my first ever video on this channel actually, a video kept popping up in my recommended over and over again for some reason. It was called Debating JonTron by a YouTuber named Destiny. Now, I heard of this Destiny guy one time before in a video by Rags. He made some comment about how Destiny...
Oh my god, Rags! I heard that I'm an imitator of Rags one time. That's great. I never watched his content. I also heard that I'm an imitator several times of what's his name, Barrington or Bearing. I never watched Bearing, but I think he's also a bear in an armchair. So I guess there's your reason. I guess that makes sense. Doesn't he even have a fireplace? I don't know. I never watched him.
He was wrong and loses every debate he's
literally
ever done.
never
I was
once.
pretty skeptical about clicking the link. I knew what the debate would be about because earlier that year some drama happened where people were calling JonTron a Nazi or a white nationalist. I automatically assumed that it was just SJWs overreacting. He'd probably just made an edgy joke or something. I assumed that it was just like with PewDiePie when he accidentally said the N-word on stream and all the mainstream media went after him and tried to slander YouTubers as bigots. I clicked on that video and I would go as far as saying it changed my life. It became apparent very fast that JonTron was a white nationalist, or at the very least sympathetic to them. I didn't disagree with what he was saying at first, but I was upset that I'd been lied to by a lot of these YouTubers I followed and trusted. Again, they claimed that JonTron wasn't a white nationalist and that he was just edgy. And that was a lie. He clearly was. About halfway into the debate, Destiny started tearing JonTron
Yeah, the Destiny video changed my life, everybody.
apart. By the end of that video, I realized that those views just didn't hold any water. Really, what was wrong with whites becoming minority if evidence shows this would be a net gain to the economy? Also, the definition of white has changed a lot.
Oh boy, bought and paid for by progressive victory.
100 years ago, Irish people weren't even considered whites.
Remember, he voted for Obama because he was black.
After that debate, I started binging all of Destiny's videos. I watched his debate with Lauren Southern, where he destroyed the economic side of the Great Replacement conspiracy, and reduced her arguments down to just I feel statements about culture, which did not look good for her. I didn't agree with all of his opinions at first, but I had so much more respect for Destiny than I'd had for any lefty YouTubers.
Well, you should have watched him talk to Medicare that time. You would have lost all that respect real quick.
Streamer for a long time. Prior to watching Destiny, all the left-tubers that I'd seen were clipped out of context in response videos from anti-SJWs where they came off as offended, whiny, and worst of all, preachy. Destiny, on the other hand, wasn't some preachy feminist who wanted to destroy the gaming community. He was a streamer who'd been a respected member of the Twitch gaming community for longer than I'd even had access to.
He was a gamer!
Not only that, but he was edgy, which was unheard of for left-leaning people online at this point. I watched as Destiny humiliated a lot of the same figures I only days before looked up to. No bullshit, Andy Worski, Brittany Venti, Dick Masterson, and so many more. Even if you don't like Destiny, you have to admit that he made them all look like idiots. I ended up joining his Discord server, where I would just hang out in the voice chat and listen to people debate, and occasionally I would debate as well. I remember spending whole nights in that voice channel having conversations and making some pretty good friends. The people in his server recommended me channels like Second Clancy, Zoda's Life, Ranting Feminist, Three Arrows, Sean and Jen, and I took a look. I like Second Clancy's videos the most.
He's just like naming people at me, and now it's like when fucking Origami Kingdom just shouts the names of fucking Family Guy episodes or whatever. Like, I know them.
First, since he was a lefty, but he also took a more balanced approach to who he covered on his channel. One video, he would make fun of some crazy SJW, and the next he would cover a crazy conservative. At this point, I hadn't even put much thought into what happened to me. I never considered the existence of an alt-right pipeline or anything like that. I assumed this was unique to me until I stumbled on a video by—
Until someone informed me that I was being alt-right pipelined, I never considered that I might have been getting alt-right pipelined. I wonder who could have informed me of that.
Sean, called The Fate of the Frogmen. Watching that video was the first time I realized I wasn't alone on this. People had experienced the same rabbit hole as me, and Sean did a fantastic job explaining the psychology behind my mindset and others, and why this happened to me. I asked around—
It's such a fucking crock of shit. It's such a cope. I mean, like, yeah, is there something to be said for fucking the YouTube algorithm, you know, pushing people in a direction? Like, oh, you like videos, like, I've been watching videos about Elden Ring, so now I'm just getting infinite fucking videos about, like, Elden Ring and Dark Souls and shit, and that just happens. And now I'm halfway through the second part of Germa's playthrough, the second 11-hour half of Germa's playthrough of Elden Ring. He's almost to Mog. Chat, he's almost to Mog. But like the YouTube algorithm will push you in a direction. If you're getting videos, if you're watching videos from Sargon, yeah, I don't know if it's going to give you stuff that's explicitly more extreme, but, you know, by nature we look for extreme stuff on YouTube. We're looking for stuff with the sensational thumbnail or whatever. Our brains are looking for the thing that's the most interesting. And, you know, psychologically, for whatever reason, that might be stuff that's more fucked up or more edgy or whatever. And so, you know, the algorithm will give you like 5 videos and you might click on the one that happens to be more edgy or something. So the most you can really say is that the YouTube and other social media algorithms are going to push you content that aligns with stuff that you watch, which is not a secret. Like, it's going to give you more of what you watch. That's just what they do. So the concept of this pipeline, but it comes across as cope because it's like, yeah, these people were all radicalized because of the pipeline. No, they were radicalized for, among other reasons, everything that he listed here about, like, fucking Ghostbusters or whatever, but also, like, yeah, I mean, just Hillary Clinton talking about the basket of deplorables, the smugness of people, years and years of finger wagging from Tumblr girls and shit. Like, there were a lot of things that made a lot of people, like, sick of lefties. And, you know, there was a lot of damage that was done, and continues to be done to that entire fucking image, because of people, that go completely unaccounted for. I mean, they never have to, you know, no one ever has to be like, yeah, that's our bad. Yeah, we shouldn't have, had Hassan say that about 9/11 or whatever. That's our bad. Oops. Yeah. Oops. We never get that. It's always pipeline, pipeline, pipeline. Well, you know, again, the pipeline is the friends we made along the way. The pipeline is these fucking people just being so insufferable so often. I mean, IPOS, you know, just this year we've had fucking, like, at least 10 fucking videos. Big videos that were funny for at least a week. That were, like, some fuck-ass lefty bread tuber political thing that was like, Ethan is online accidentally defending pedophiles, uh-oh. You know, how often does that keep fucking happening? And, but no, it's the pipeline, guys, it's the pipeline. It's just the pipeline. It has nothing to do with all of our actions being obnoxious and annoying for fucking, like, over a decade now. It's the pipeline. Shut
Destiny's
up.
Discord
it's the
for a
pipeline.
while, and a lot of other people share the same experiences.
I agree, Fred Fox. The Deadwing Dork community is a pipeline of friendship. That's right. And trans hate, apparently.
So, I'd escaped the alt-right rabbit hole and was back to identifying as a liberal. I was even a bit further left than before, since I recognized that the anti-feminist and anti-SJW type content that I originally liked was kind of dumb and focused on attacking low-hanging fruit and making a straw man out of an ideology. I ended up deciding that I wasn't cut out for politics somewhere at the beginning of...
Okay, but, like, you guys do that all the time, though. I mean, that's arguably, like, what you're gonna wind up doing in this video, so...
2018, when I moved out of my parents' house and moved in with my uncle. Me and my uncle were roommates for a while, and I was in line to inherit the house we lived in, which was my grandma's, so we considered it my house as well. I spent the whole year of 2018 just trying to build my YouTube channel through gaming. I played Fortnite and Minecraft and other games like that, and I made a lot of new friends, and eventually I hit 1,000 subscribers, and for a whole year I didn't really put much thought into politics or even think about Destiny's community even. I didn't spend much time there. Up until this point, I never talked politics with any of the friends I made over that last year. It just never came up, and when it did, I didn't want to start any fights. However, one night me and a friend, Mango, were playing some Fortnite. We started talking about what we listen to when we fall asleep since we both have tinnitus, and he said he listens to Game Grumps videos and JonTron while he falls asleep. At this point, it had already been about 10 months since I'd originally watched the Destiny and JonTron.
Oh, so he had to be cut out from your life, obviously.
On debate and gotten out of the alt-right rabbit hole. So I asked him if he knew about the
either the pipeline or the rabbit hole.
controversy that happened with JonTron, and he said no. I tried to explain it to him, but either I did a bad job or he just didn't care, because the conversation didn't go anywhere. That night, I had a dream in which I watched the debate between JonTron and Destiny again, and then debated Mango, and made him understand that JonTron isn't a cool dude. And then I woke up the next morning. And I felt this...
He had a dream that he was a Reddit debate bro.
...urge to watch a Destiny video again for the first time in almost a year.
Someone in chat just says, oh, so you're a bitch.
Don't know why, but that's when I realized that there were a lot more people who were watching this anti-SJW stuff that didn't even realize that this rabbit hole existed. Around this time...
The rabbit hole, Jerry!
I also met Anna, who's
George, for one moment it's the pipeline, and now it's the rabbit hole. You can't even figure out which one you're getting down. You're falling down. It's one of them, Jerry! I'm falling!
Actual trans person I talked to, she explained a lot of stuff about gender dysphoria, transitioning, and just living as a trans person. A lot of information I've kept with me and used in debates against transphobes to this day. When the new year started, I decided that I wanted to dip my toes into politics on my YouTube channel, so I made a commentary video about some transphobic tweets that Notch, the creator of Minecraft, made. The reception on the video was very mixed. I quickly learned that most of my fans at the time were reactionaries who agreed with Notch and disliked the hell out of my video. I tried to make a few
It was the fans' problem, not mine.
Gaming videos, but...
you know, it's possible that your fan base just happened to be a bunch of toxic people, but it's also possible that you know, I don't know, you were just a guy playing video games and they didn't want to have to hear about fucking social issues every 5 minutes. Like, maybe they'd heard about Notch. Or maybe they, again, like, maybe they agree with him. Why is it... Like, people act like someone having a belief means that, like, people are going to die. Like, that's just not true. I don't know. Like, so what if someone agrees with Notch? So fucking what? Is that a problem? Really? Oh, this person quietly has beliefs. I mean, it literally comes across like opinion bashing, because, like, you can equate it in a way to, like, oh my god, this person likes Apple products? Jesus Christ! Like, yeah, I mean, they might never actually, you know, touch a child, but they do like Apple products, you know? I mean, like...
Couldn't help but think that maybe I should step into the political side of YouTube.
Yeah, Notch did go pretty crazy, that's true. I mean...
It was so saturated with anti-SJW channels. I also just didn't feel comfortable with having an audience filled with so many bigots. But then, the day I put out my video on Notch, the Christchurch shooting happened.
What an opinion basher. Oh my god, it's the shooting.
I read the shooter's manifesto, and it was infested with memes, dog whistles, and references I picked up on my way down the rabbit hole as well. And after chatting with some people over in Destiny's
Copyright Frederick Knudsen
Discord, I decided that I wasn't going to give up on politics. I was going to keep at it. I was inspired by YouTubers like ContraPoints, who not only taught me a lot about trans issues, but other topics in a way that was entertaining and educational. Claudia Brown cleared up a lot of lingering stereotypes and misconceptions about feminism.
When are we going to find out how many of these people are paid for by, like, government super PACs and shit? Because that's interesting. I want to know how many of these people now, like, are actually paid for government shills. I have to assume not Big Joel. I don't think they would allow him to go out there looking the way he does. I don't think they would get him to... The Brianna Wu super PAC would, like, force him to go to a barber. Like, or, like, at least take a shower. Like, it couldn't be Big... It can't... I don't know about Big Joel, but, like... Yeah, I don't know.
And Sean made a bunch of good videos debunking skeptic YouTubers and took a comprehensive look at their arguments. And Three Arrows had excellent videos debunking reactionaries with historical content.
The Christchurch shooter just added the memes to spread chaos. I mean, that's true. I mean, like, it's possible also that he was, like, a racist or something. I don't know. It seems like he probably was based on what he did, you know, but, like, I think I'm thinking of the same guy. But, yeah, no, he added in those memes specifically so the fucking news media would go wild, and people continue to take the bait, I guess.
Text to back up his arguments as well. I wanted to be as great as all of them, but I couldn't think of much to talk about and make videos on until one night, in the Destiny Discord voice chat, people started talking about a guy named Faraday Speaks. Apparently he made a video telling the story of his radicalization to the right and how he got out thanks to Destiny. I figured that since the same thing had happened to me, I might as well tell my story too. That's how these two videos came to be. I actually didn't watch Faraday's video until after I uploaded mine, and I hoped that maybe he would notice me after seeing my video and we could talk about the things that had happened to both of us. Sure enough, one day he messaged me on Discord and we had a pretty cool chat. He was one of the first breadtubers to actually reach out to me and talk to me. He also gave me a follow on Twitter. The only other person who'd talked to me since before that was Vosh. And it was actually Vosh.
Oh my god. Oh, well. You know, I don't know, insert joke here. It's getting too hot in my bedroom to make a Vosh joke.
Who followed me very early on after I uploaded my 2 original videos. We talked a bit on Twitter, and I mentioned in a tweet that I was feeling a little bit burnt out on the whole editing and scripting and making these high production videos that take so much time to make, and he recommended that I check out his format, his live streamed format, and I went and I watched one of his videos, the one on Clown World and Nazi dog whistling, and it was the funniest and most informative video I'd seen in a long time. I even sent it to some of my apolitical friends who found my switch from gaming to politics pretty lame, and I'll just say, those friends are leftists now. The format that Vosh used looked really nice, something I wanted to try, so I gave it a shot, and it was a lot of fun.
Don't worry, sweetie, they've been converted to the cause.
Fun talking to my chat and debunking videos from Chuds live, and then just uploading clips of that to my
the unironic Chuds, that's unfortunate.
Channel. It was way less stress on
me. I mean, this was 4 years ago, but that's still unfortunate.
And a lot more fun, and people seemed to like it. We shared the same format, me and Vosh, and we also shared a lot of the same audience, but that meant that he was able to give me a lot of advice, and me and him being friends, it just helped a lot. My channel kept growing from there, and most of you probably know what happened after that. Vosh has definitely been one of my closest friends and inspirations through all of this, and has given me a lot of advice on how to grow my YouTube channel and improve my rhetoric, and he's even the one who recommended I grow this beard, which a lot of you guys...
Wait, did he say the same art? Is that what he said? Vosh got Xanderhall into the same type of art? Did he say that? We're gonna have to go back a full minute on this one. Hold on.
And scripting and making these high production videos that take so much time to make, and he recommended that I check out his format, his live streamed format, and I went and I watched one of his videos, the one on Clown World and Nazi dog whistling, and it was the funniest and most informative video I'd seen in a long time. I even sent it to some of my apolitical friends who found my switch from gaming to politics pretty lame, and I'll just say, those friends are leftists now. The format that Vosh used looked really nice, something I wanted to try, so I gave it a shot, and it was a lot of fun talking to my chat and debunking videos from Chuds live, and then just uploading clips of that to my channel. It was way less stress on me and a lot more fun, and people seemed to like it. We shared the same format, me and Vosh, and we also shared a lot of the same audience, but that meant that he was able to give me
Okay, he misspoke, chat member. Come on now.
a lot of advice, and
Maybe it's a Freudian slip, it's probably just a quick little misspeak.
and him being friends, it just helped a lot. My channel kept growing from there, and most of you probably know what happened after that. Vosh has definitely been one of my closest friends and inspirations through all of this, and has given me a lot of advice on how to grow my YouTube channel and improve my rhetoric, and he's even the one who recommended I grow this beard, which a lot of you guys seem to like a lot. I also started doing my own research and thinking for myself. I learned about
Sounds like Vosh groomed you, buddy.
socialism, communism, fascism, systematic racism.
I mean, in the case of the beard, perhaps literally.
Social sciences and capitalism, and rather than calling myself a liberal, I started calling myself a leftist, and I condemned capitalism and imperialism heavily. Not long after I started regularly making videos, I was contacted by Kevin Roos.
Yeah, he did just actually, it was a slip-up, but he did say that he shared the same art with Vosh, which it just adds to the pile of things that did not age well about this video, did
Who
it?
interviewed me for a bit more background on the alt-right rabbit hole, and eventually wrote that now notorious New York Times article about it. A few months after that, Andrew Limbong from NPR did a story where he interviewed 3 people to talk about far-right radicalization. Those 3 people were me, Destiny, and ContraPoints. It felt amazing to be seen by some people as on their level, I guess, but especially when my channel had less than 10,000 subscribers at the time. Through this YouTube channel, I've also talked...
Yeah, why? That's interesting. Was that one also bought and paid for by Brianna Wu's super PAC, or like, what was up with that? Why were you given that position of power at 10,000 subscribers or whatever, less? That is kind of fucking weird, isn't it?
And befriended some YouTubers who I've been watching since I was only 15 years old. Me and Fratanga have a podcast. I debated rags. Seanhead and I are pretty chill. ContraPoints, the Queen of BreadTube, even followed my old Twitter before it got banned.
Queen of BreadTube.
And these last 8 months have been insane. Some criticisms that have been sent my way usually add up to something like, oh, you went from one extreme to the other, congratulations. But I don't see that as unreasonable. Right now, we're seeing more young people move...
Someone in chat said Vosh is not that bad, but the art is funny. It's funny, yeah. Yeah, I typically find little girls getting fucked by goblins little goblins getting fucked by horses. Right. They were little goblins. Little short stack goblins getting fucked by horses. I find that pretty funny too, that's true.
Moving to political extremes than ever. The way things are right now just isn't working out for most people, so young people especially are looking for further, more radical ideologies to cause actual change. This means that when they're just getting into politics, they're either going to look to fascism as the solution for their problems or leftism. It's all a matter of who gets to them first.
Yep, red or blue, fucking yes or no. 1 or 0, motherfucker. We're in a binary system. Fascism, and we're all about extremes now, too, so it's not leftism or fascism, it's fascism or, like, radical communist socialism or whatever. The thing is that, like, people like IPOS want in their idealized world where, you know, conservatives aren't allowed in public society and stuff. You know, I don't know. It's frightening. It's frightening that we're here now.
Will it be a reactionary that tells them their economic problems are because of brown people immigrating to white countries when they can't get a girlfriend because of feminism? Or will it be a leftist that tells them their economic issues are caused by capitalism?
It's all just a matter of who gets to them first. That's right, chat member. It's a good thing that Xander Hall's being paid to give them the right message. I mean, the left message. Sorry.
Exploiting the working class, and their dating problems stem from toxic masculinity and patriarchal expectations of men. My goal is to make sure that me and other leftist creators are the ones who those young people find first. Now that I've told my story...
it's fascism, it's communism, socialism, whatever, but the realism that matters is autism. We all know that.
I think it's important to talk about a solution to the problem of this alt-right pipeline, or rabbit hole. As I said before, young straight white teens are the target audience for this kind of stuff. Of course, there are plenty of exceptions, but straight white gamer dudes are generally what they're aiming for, especially if they're having a hard time in life. In my experience, these young people don't become white nationalists because of an inherent deep-down hatred for brown people.
Well, you're also aiming for that group with this video, though, aren't you? Like, this is supposed to be an appeal to someone exactly like me, who had a situation like that or something where I'm supposed to look to you and go, wow, you're enlightened. I can change too and not be a bigot anymore or whatever. Like, I feel like this is an appeal to people like that, I mean, in particular, and when you know that at least his newer videos, I guess, are paid for by the fucking DNC Brianna Wu Super PAC or whatever, it really makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder.
Figures they follow use seemingly pragmatic arguments to support their beliefs. For example, the 1350 stat. They claim that black people are a problem because statistically they commit more crime. While this stat may be very dishonestly presented, most people don't know better, and because the YouTube algorithm promoting reactionary content, they'll never hear otherwise if they aren't careful. I really think the solution to this problem is more breadtubers and more lefty videos. We need more people to do what
we need more pimps, more pushers. Yeah, the solution is, I guess we just need to make them think the correct things on your side. Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's just no recognition. There's just no recognition of, like, any higher thinking. It's amazing how fucking unintellectual and small-minded a lot of these people are. They can't even seem to operate on an idea above just right is wrong and left is good. Left is correct. We support things. Everyone's free and blah blah blah. And the right's evil, blah blah blah. It's like, it's just so simple in this stupid plebeian fucking mid-wit worldview that people like this fucking have. I mean, for one thing, I don't think that inherently being right-wing makes you a racist or a bigot or anything like that. I think that there's an overlap there, certainly, but there's an overlap with bigoted fucking lefties, too. They're all over the goddamn place. We see them all the goddamn time. We see them all the time. They just have a more currently acceptable group of people to, like, you know, point their fucking ire towards, typically. But, yeah, there's nothing inherently about that, but people have like, made this a thing where it's like, if you're a good person, you are a leftist. You have to be a leftist if you're a good person. And I mean, that's why you have... This video is an example of the right-wing, or the alt-right pipeline, I guess, you know? This is the pipeline. This video itself, ironically, is the pipeline, because you see a video like this that basically just tells you, be a leftist or you're a bad, bigoted, evil, wrong-thinking person. And it's like, you know, people don't really like that. People probably aren't happy with being told that. And they probably get fucking pissed off with people like you. And they, you know, drift in a different direction. That's the fucking pipeline, Dickless.
There just isn't enough of us right now. How many anti-SJW YouTube channels with furry rant-sonas that are animated can you think of off the top of your head? Probably more than there are breadtubers on this site. We need to change that. If you think you have something that is worth saying, make a video. Hell, if you don't have a computer, use your phone. Just make sure that what you're saying is well-informed, and you don't have to make videos the quality of ContraPoints to make a difference. You can stream, you can vlog, make scripted commentary videos, or just rant in front of your camera like I am right now. There's one thing...
Yeah, this is it, too. It's everyone has to be politically fucking... like, everyone has to be doing this shit. This is the thing, you get told by your fucking politics group that it's your obligation to, like, fight for our cause. So you have to now be the annoying fuckwit that goes out there and, like, you know, makes Dustborn or whatever. You have to be the annoying fucker that, you know, alienates yourself from your entire family because you won't stop fucking shoving COVID information in their face and how Fauci is a scammer or whatever. Like, it's all the same shit, right? It's all you. It's on you. You have to spread the message. You have to change the world. And that's why everybody is like this now. I mean, on both sides.
Above all of this, that may be the most important thing, and that's optics. I know I'm not just speaking for myself when I say...
Dustborn stream, maybe. I've heard so many things, it's like almost too easy. It's like low-hanging fruit. That would be the name of it if I ever stream it. And if you ever see me streaming and the title of the stream is Low-Hanging Fruit, that's the Dustborn stream. It looks pretty bad. It sounds pretty bad. It looks pretty bad.
Say that the stereotype of an SJW is off-putting to most people. Don't let yourself fit into the mold of the straw man that reactionaries have made of us. If we defy their expectations and their stereotypes, they won't know how to counter us. Us leftists, we have facts, statistics, data, and even historical...
Yeah, his mom apparently being strict and accusing him of hating women and putting him in the basket of deplorables. That was what radicalized him to begin with. I mean, I had a similar thing where my dad was, like, super anti-Trump, and he was like, you know, it was like, fuck you, Dad, I'm gonna become more of a, you know, whatever. I'm gonna read more Breitbart articles and shit like that. Yeah. No, it's the opposition. It's, no, you can't think this, you're not allowed. And so when you're young, you're like, why am I not allowed? And you get drawn in. And some people eventually realize that, you know, some of the things they're not allowed to think are just because they're fucking stupid, you know. And they can think them, but they'll just, you know, like, you can think the earth is flat, too. Like, right? Like, you can. It's not, you're allowed to. No one's telling you can't think the earth is flat. That's why, you know, we need to normalize people being allowed to be bigots. Just be allowed to have bad opinions. And just be openly, like, transphobic or whatever. And then people will go, oh, you suck. I don't want to be around you. Fuck off. And then they won't be around them anymore. And then there you go. And we don't have to all pretend that we're good people all the time. You know, people will just socially fucking filter these people out themselves. It'll be great.
Context on our side. If people like us can
dare to be
a loud
stupid,
minority
exactly,
that the right uses to make their hit pieces, they won't have any more material. In light of all this, I want to finish this video by giving a shout out to some smaller bread tubers to help them grow. All their links will be in the description if you're interested. Gushin makes awesome videos discussing certain topics, like this one, and she's trying to hit 15,000 subs by 2020, so go give her a sub and help her out. She's awesome. Claudia Brown does feminist commentary and response videos, and she has a cool Australian
Jesus Christ, you didn't even need to tell me that. Look at the hair.
accent, so go check her out as well. How about a bread tuber of color? Check out Oreo. He's been—
Oh my god. Hey, we've got blacks too! Alright, so... It's an interesting video. I found that very interesting. I'm glad I watched it. Some people were bored. But, you know, the weak have to be separated somehow. I'm glad I watched it. It was an interesting time, you know, seeing someone who, at the very least, is presenting himself to be so similar to my own background. But seemingly just a fucking fraud and a phony, I guess. Allegedly. Just bought and paid for by some super PAC to spread, you know, propaganda. The alt-right pipeline is real. They just be concealing it. Well, we're gonna move along. And, you know, let me see here. Okay, come on now. Let me see here. What is this? Well, you know what? I'll give you part one. I'll give you part one, chat. This is a long series, so we might have several parts of this in the future. We've got at least 4? It looks like 5. There's at least 5 parts. It might get updated more in the future. But this is, Beaver Soup by John of E. Which is his, apparently, he admits to some zoophilia crimes in this. Not good. It doesn't sound like it'll be good. Let's watch.
Hello. Today we are gonna read the short novel Beaver Soup by John Ovie. Recipe Part 1.
So you gonna cook the fucking beaver? That's what it looks like.
Point. In suburban West Auckland at 2:37 a.m. on a Saturday night.
Why are we doing a fake accent?
John Foster slouched over his ergonomic keyboard, staring with bloodshot eyes into the wild LCD monitor. Image after image scrolled by as he browsed F-Chan's alternate hard channel, looking for...
Okay. Cool, funny accent. That's great. Love it. Hang on a second. Let's see here. So, okay. This is on his website. Perfect. Okay, we're good. This is on his website. We're gonna get a little preview here. Beaver Soup, the novelette. Cartoon characters aren't real, but John's obsession for one is. In this story, we get a glimpse of what might happen if Norbert Beaver existed in the world we live in today, in much the same way the Toons did in the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. After 3 years of show business, Norbert and Daggett Beaver, stars of their hit comedy reality show The Angry Beavers, decide it's time to move deeper into the wild, to build a new dam, as far from any people and TV cameras as possible. On the other side of the world, John, a young man dangerously obsessed and in love with Norbert, packs up and leaves for the U.S. with only one thing on his mind, confronting Norbert and satisfying his undying hunger for the beaver. Beaver Soup is a product of one of the many thoughts that run through my mind in the dark, late hours as I hold my Norbert plushie tight, pleading to a non-existent being to please let Norbert be real and deliver him to me. Beaver Soup is the depressing reality to an unrealistic desire. And this is Beaver Soup. I will read you Beaver Soup instead of the fucking French accent. We don't need that. We got a beaver here. Let me see if I can even show this. Hang on. Might get weird. Okay, we got a whole page dedicated to this. Eat trees. Save trees. Eat beaver. Right. Well, that doesn't even make sense because we don't eat trees. I mean, I feel like we don't really eat beavers either. Let me see here. It's just another blank page for some reason. Then we got the recipe. It's 11 parts. We're almost up to we're about halfway through almost the 11-part story here on YouTube. But this is the full thing. In suburban West Auckland at 2:37 a.m. on a Saturday night, John Foster slouched over his ergonomic keyboard. Never leaves me bored, staring with bloodshot eyes into the wide LCD monitor. Image after image scrolled by as he browsed F-Chan's alternate hard channel, looking for more drawings of male-on-male dog porn. This night was no different to any other Saturday night in the past few years of John's life. He lived for the midnight lurking and the midday breakfasts. Hang on, we need some music for this. My go-to creepy music. John clicked over to the Media Watch website, having found nothing interesting at F-Chan. He skimmed over the latest slander and was ready to move on when he saw it. The Angry Beavers, Back to the Wild. John's eyes widened as he clicked the link and was presented with the news he thought wouldn't never come. Not gay, not never. Norbert and Daggett Beaver, once stars of their hit reality TV show The Angry Beavers, are moving the dam. Norb and Dag had become obscure stars in recent years due to their agreement with wildlife expert senior Bill Licking. Mr. Licking also had other shows featuring certain forest animals in their natural habitats, filmed with numerous, strategically placed cameras. Norbert and Daggett were the breath of fresh air for the show's producers, with their furious arguments and electric personalities. They were the perfect reality show recipe and brought great ratings. 6 months ago, the series of 3 years finally came to an end, prompting the Beavers to move the dam and start living normal lives again. John felt a rush of excitement come over him as he finished reading the article. It was finally happening. This was the change he'd been waiting for long for. You know, I see the problem is I'm stumbling over this because I'm trying to read it like it's something real, but then he had been waiting for long for. His dream might actually come true. John turned off the computer and climbed into bed. Thoughts of gratification swirled around inside his head as he turned out the light and pulled the covers over him and his Norbert plushie. A sense of adventure and purpose welled up in him, and he lay the dark smiling. Goodness gracious. He cuddled his beaver plush tightly and kissed its IT''S soft furry nose. Oh fuck, Chad, I lost my joint. Oh, it's all over. It's all over, Lawbreaker. Alright. That's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Let me just I gotta put this out. Jesus Christ. Hang on. Okay, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna put this out. Just gonna stab this a little bit, and okay. Just don't, as long as it doesn't catch fire, we should be good. Yeah, we're good. It's not gonna catch fire. Okay, we're good. John was a die-hard fan of the show, but mostly because of Norbert Beaver. There was once a time when he simply loved the show, but since the first season, he began obsessing about it greatly. John was at the point now that he believed he had a connection of some sort with Norbert, and that they were designed to be together, destined even. There were times when his thoughts seemed like the ravings of an obsessed lunatic, and even though he knew it was mad, he ignored this dangerous fact and continued to fixate on Norbert in a frightening manner. 3 years had passed since the show hit the air, and John's obsession had grown to disastrous proportions in that time. Even after its demise, his undying love for Norbert Beaver burned hot in him. How hot? How warm and deep inside of him, huh? The usual stereotype appearance of a complete nutter didn't apply to John. He looked common and trustworthy. He stood 6'5", had short, dark brown hair and hazel eyes. His skin was parched white and his face shaven, dressed in blue jeans, white shirt, and brown leather shoes. John looked completely plain, Plane. In his young years, he was bullied horribly, but this only thickened his skin and made him despise the human race to the point of disconnection. John enjoyed being completely alone, without any friends. He was free to spend all his spare time obsessing over his only friend in the world, a friend who didn't even know he existed. John's personality was rather normal. He functioned well in society and worked in one of Auckland's largest electrical wholesalers on the customer services desk with reasonable success. He sometimes resented the job due to the fact that he had to be exposed to so many people, but his emotional disconnection with humans allowed him to operate more effectively than with his customers, much to his own disdain. Nothing touched him. From the outside, John was a normal Kiwi bloke, but if you managed to crack his shell, you'd faint from the mess that would spill out. Paraphilia was the quirk that defined him the most, the sexual interest in non-human subjects. His interests varied from coprophilia to necrophilia.
Yeah, that first one is shit, by the way!
And so many others in between. One that haunted him the most was bestiality. John hungered desperately to have sex with what he would refer to as a nice, big, bushy-tailed Labrador. Any large breed of working dog would work for John, but John's main problem with that attraction was there was no means to satisfy it. He had thought of so many avenues for acquiring his fair game, but it was all too hard. As of yet, he had not managed to have sex with a dog, but eventually that day would come. He promised himself that it would. John often wondered about his sexuality and how it came to be, how he could be homosexual but not interested in human males. During times of unbearable sexual frustration, he would visit a sex club downtown, and get fucked by whoever would offer it. He enjoyed giving other men the pleasure of violating his young and slender body. It was the only human and living sexual contact he could ever get easily. Of all the sexual perversion that filled John's mind, Norbert was the most special. Norbert really meant something to him. John was convinced that this was true love for real. Even if Norbert didn't love him back, John knew in his heart that he could never love someone as he loved Norbert Beaver. Since the first season of the Beavers show, John drew
Sneeze!
Okay, but like I said it was gonna be a Sangi.
You shouldn't be surprised that there's Sangi. I said there would be Sangi. That's not a surprise. Thank you. Someone said bless you. Thank you.
Since the very first season of the Since the first season of the Beavers show, John drew pictures of Norbert almost every day. On occasion, John would draw Norbert in horrific circumstances. He liked to imagine hurting him, but never considered doing it for real. It was his way of relieving this resentment he felt for Norbert being so unreachable. Most of the drawings, however, were nice in nature. John had recorded the entire TV series on his computer and captured hundreds of still shots from the video. His room was practically wallpapered with prints of Norbert as a result.
A year into John's obsession, he constructed a life-sized stuffed animal in Norbert's likeness. He spent hours perfecting it, and upon completing it, it had become John's most prized possession. Complete with yellow acrylic fur, purple satin nose, and brown felt tail, it was John's best friend, and he would make passionate love to it every night.
Oh, so Dakota! Oh, Dakota, put the doggy down!
Out of his desire to be understood, John made himself a website under his alias name, JohnofE.com. He hosted all of his images and wrote lengthy papers about himself in a bid to explain his situation in hopes that someone with the same issue might come into his life. Instead, he found that most people who came to the site were horrified by him, and he became a freak show for people to laugh at and talk about.
Just a sec.
John, being resilient to criticism, found this attention more entertaining rather than offensive and became drawn to pissing people off. There was a group of people that he fitted in with, the furry community. These people weren't necessarily similar to John, but most of them accepted him. But there was the portion that didn't. John was just glad to have a label to identify himself with. He was a furry, even if a lot of what he stood for didn't make him so. John was incredibly self-aware and egotistical. He enjoyed fixating on himself and his paraphiliac interests and trying to find cause for it all, but the answer to why never did come. Some things just cannot be explained. In the past, John sought psychiatric help for his sexual obsessions and paraphilia, but he was unsuccessful. He was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, along with being sexually deviant. The doctors couldn't figure out what may have caused him to be that way, but offered him help in the form of chemical castration drugs. John decided to give being a normal a go, but quickly found that he couldn't do it and accepted his love for Norbert completely, continuing his obsessive, deluded love for the beaver.
All I want is this obsessive devotion!
John often played with the idea of flying out to visit Norbert in America. It was tempting, but the beaver's current location...
So this is a fantasy realm in which the beaver character is real. And not like a cartoon beaver, but like a real-life cartoon beaver that he wants to have sex with, basically. I see. So he is accessible, like, he is technically, like, there's a non-zero chance that he could have sex with this thing, right? It's not like now where it's just a fantasy character, a cartoon character, okay. I'm figuring out what the story is here, right.
Visiting Norbert in America. It was tempting, but the beaver's current location was inconvenient. Situated in part of a populated town, it would be disastrous if anything went wrong. John knew he was dangerous and couldn't plan of going all the way to America to be rejected. He had to plan for any outcome, and he simply couldn't risk getting caught if he had to resort to violence. John liked to wonder what would happen if he met Norbert, whether Norbert would accept John or reject him, and how he himself would react to the rejection as well as the consequences. John didn't like to admit it to himself, but he assumed Norbert would most likely not be happy with his request for instant love and gratification. John imagined many scenarios where he would end up neck-deep in proverbial shit.
Well, apparently also literal shit, because he's a coprophile too, but whatever.
It became depressing, so he didn't dwell on it too often. After reading the article on the beaver's move back to the wild, John soon found out the location of their new dam and was delighted at the remoteness of it. The risk he had been worried about for so long was no longer a factor, and John proceeded to arrange his departure for New Zealand in pursuit of Norbert Beaver. With quick succession, John sold his Auckland house to an agent. The price was such that it sold instantly, and although John came out worse off, he needed the money for this trip, and he was committed to achieving his goal. With the money, John acquired a visitor's visa to America, and a one-way ticket on the condition that he had the funds to return to New Zealand. Having sold his home, there was no issue proving that he had the necessary funds to return, and John was soon sitting on a 747 on his way to meet the love of his life. Before his departure, John managed to organize his living arrangements in America, much to his luck. The new dam's location provided John with a freak blessing, a large house that was once used for the logging seasons. John didn't, but wow, this is getting boring. Okay, so he's in a forest. Norbert and Daggett were in this place at some point, I guess.
And he's talking about the lodge, and that's great. Near the lodge at the end of the grassy clearing, a small river flowed by. Only 300 meters downstream of this river resided Norbert and Daggett's new dam. Since arriving to the lodge, John took daily walks. They made me walk through thick bush along the river to assess the place. It was important to him that he knew the land well so that he could navigate at night. You know, someone made fan art of, well, I use the term fan art loosely, but somebody made some art of IPOS in his, like, his, like, weird tassel outfit with the hat. And it's just captioned with, "I had to walk." I like it. I like that picture a lot. Let me see here. There were times when he would stand hidden in the trees, watching the dam for any movement. Some days he was lucky enough to see the beavers playing in the pond their dam had created. John enjoyed watching Norbert in the water. He looked so happy as he dug under the surface and came up again, sparkling in the early morning sunlight. John came to learn the beavers' routine, and would come just to watch Norbert and Daggett splash about in the water. Oh god, I'm getting sick watching this, reading this. 3 weeks had passed since John moved to the lodge. One fine Tuesday morning, as John loaded the industrial washer with his bed sheets. You know, yeah, wash them an extra time, do them on an extra cycle. He noticed through the fogged, sun-struck window 2 beavers staring at the lodge in the distance. Startled by this unexpected appearance, John stepped to the side to avoid being seen. Yeah, instinctively, he skulks away into the shadows where he fucking belongs. Slowly, John inched to the window and peered through the hazy glass. The beavers appeared to be talking to each other. John hoped that they hadn't seen him. It wouldn't have mattered much, but he wasn't ready for a confutation. Fuda? Did somebody say Fuda? Synthetic Man has got our fucking number. He's gonna be here anytime soon. Oh, man. He would later regret not letting them see him. Okay. Dude, right... Type with 2 hands. Take your hand off your dick, type with 2 hands. This is your life's work. This is important. Type it, do it justice. Come on now. He would later regret not letting them see him, as it might have saved him a whole lot of effort in the future. After a few moments, Norbert and Daggett moved on, and John never saw them walk by the lodge again. With a sigh, he allowed them to drop like an apron full of boulders. He resumed loading the washer and made himself breakfast. And that brings us to the end of Chapter 1. A bit of a dull chapter, all things considered, but we see the promise of what is to come there. Some worrying stuff, I would say. This is the look inside the mind of a zoophile. I think we'll do more of this another time as we escalate things and it becomes him cooking this fucking beaver alive or whatever. We'll learn more about his sick desires and things. Apparently this gets into actual crimes he was, got in trouble for, so that's interesting. But, we're gonna call it there. I'm gonna do some super chats now. We'll end the stream. I do think it's time to do sometime soon. We're gonna want to continue this fanfic here, if you can call it that. We're gonna want to continue this self-insert fiction here, in the zoophile sense. But Zooier Than Thou is also back again. Toggle the Rat is back on Zooier Than Thou. They've got new episodes. People have been talking about it. I don't know that they were gone for any extended period, but they're certainly back now, so exciting stuff all around. We're gonna have to take a look at them, get a little update on Zooier Than Thou. That's gonna be important. But yeah, we will get to Chapter 2 sometime soon. Chapter 2 is called Back to Reality. The rest of the chapters have, interesting names. Beaver Nap, Beaver Blood, Interspecies. There's one chapter just called Meat. So promising stuff. I'm sure it's going to be great content for us to take a look at. And meanwhile, this guy's got his own version of him reading it, where he probably flubs the lines less, but he also talks in a fucking French accent for some reason. I don't know. But we're going to continue here. We're going to do some super chats. We're going to end the stream. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, right. So, well, $2 from Autistic Wolf. What the fuck is a quarter pounder sympathizer? It means quartering. It means he's a quartering He's a sympathizer with the guy who once pissed on the floor spitefully while his wife got pizza, quote unquote, without him. But that's neither here nor there. That's so 3 hours ago. Jamos with $2. Don't forget the popcorn story, by the way. Right, so, you know, subscribe to Loud Equals Funny on YouTube, the podcast. Me and Bane and Tristan. Fuzo is Bane. He played Halo. We all played Halo last night. And he was with us, and he told us that he was going to have to leave Halo for a little bit so that he could drive 6 miles out of town so that he could get popcorn from a movie theater and bring it back home with him. And all of us were like, Bane, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just make microwave popcorn. Why do you need popcorn this much? Just get popcorn the next time you're there. It'll be fine. You'll survive without the popcorn. No, he would not be deterred. He was dead set on going 6 miles there and back again to get popcorn from the movie theater, which would prove to be closed. So he went to Wendy's and got I believe he said it was a Frosty and some fries. So, not really the same as getting a large popcorn to watch a movie with, but I guess he had a coupon for the fries, so we can't really blame him there. Ray Fu Random, thank you very much with the membership. £2 from Niall Scott, Camden Gerard Spencer. Oh my God. That was that. I was told to say that in the super chat. I was told to push those buttons. $2 from Autistic Wolf. Did Papa Pedro take heads to eliminate competition? No, well, not to eliminate competition, but I mean, arguably some of the people that he killed were not pedophiles or child, whatever. They weren't arguably like hurting children at all, but like he thought they were. So that's all that matters, really. $2 from Echo Decay. So all of this was a nothing burger. We're like a year into Mamamax's like God cult thing, and you're surprised it turned out to be full of shit. I mean, I'm sorry, but we knew that. $2 from Autistic Wolf. When did you Camden Gerard the anti-trans Davis? I don't know what these words mean. Is this a secret racist dog whistle? $2 from Cringe Man. It just says hate. And then $2 from Cringe Man. He called Mamamax hotness! With 3 angry emojis. $2 from Dr. Negus B. Wilden. The U in USA stands for user. Salute, salute! You know, we're all very sad about Magical Mario films taking me to war. I mean, look at his fucking hair! $2 from Autistic Wolf. I hope Tivy has some Little Caesars for Far Cry. Yeah, Tivy, make sure you got your Little Caesars ready for your Far Cry and Brink stream. Bungie Gummy member for 9 months. Sure has been the year of the user. Thanks for documenting all this juicy drama. It's been such amazing drama. It's amazing. Still looking forward to seeing if anything more comes out of SSG at some point, but I think he's just kind of fled the fucking internet now that Media Ninja... I mean, we know what he'll do. He'll straight up smack a bitch and, like, go to jail for it. So, like, I don't think Brian wants to fuck with that, you know. $2 from Finical Leo. Do you take a look at Smart Schoolboy 9? I think I saw somebody else talking about it. I might watch that video and see if it's worth, you know, looking at. I don't know, maybe. $5 from Ranma. Tell me I gave my husband the Mamamax lore. All he said was, damn, what a tool. Enjoying this tool stream. Happy Saturday. Well, yeah, he is quite a tool. Absolutely. That's, you know, succinct and to the point, just like USA Today. 832, thank you very much. 832 from Exiled Postman. I have 4 Loco right now, actually, if that one person wants some. There's not much left, but it's Jungle Juice flavor. Ooh, Jungle Juice. I kind of want that. I mean, what does that mean? Is that racist? I don't know. $5 from the Retro Shepherd. Soy un perditor. I'm a user baby. So why don't you bash me? I don't know what this is supposed to be. I don't know this song. But, you know, people are making their own user parodies, and it's amazing, folks. It's amazing. $5 from Queen of All Cosmos. Thank you, Claw Dingo, for the epic stream. Maybe the dingo ate your baby. I can't wait for Max to work hard with his lawyer, ChatGPT, and his parents, ChatGPT, to fix this mess. Yeah, I mean, by their powers combined, I'm sure they'll figure it out. Vexplex has become a member. Thank you very much. $2 from Disgusting Seal. Are there individual uploads for your album songs? No. I was gonna do that. I might still put it on Bandcamp or SoundCloud or whatever, but, no, it's kind of like 4 songs or whatever, but it's, you know, it's kind of just one. You know, it kind of all works as one big song. It's like 20 minutes. You can listen to a 20-minute song. I do that all the time. It's fine. Just listen to the full 20 minutes, Forehead. It's fine. For those that haven't heard it, go check out Strange Odyssey. You want some weird music that sounds like I made it? Check out Strange Odyssey. It's penis music adjacent, you know, at various moments. I haven't listened to it in a few months. You know, people say it's like egotistical to listen to your own music, but I've always been like, bitch, I made this music. It's like perfectly designed to my tastes. Why wouldn't I want to listen to some of my songs? I mean, some of them I'm like, man, I wish I could remix this one or something. I wish I still had the files. But, no, I mean, I listen to my music. It's like, yeah, I mean, who else is gonna listen to it but me? I made it for me to listen to, because I wanted to hear a song that sounded like that. But I haven't listened to it for a while, because I listened to it way too much in the lead up to actually uploading it. $5 from Echo Decay. Oh, Xander Hall. I tried to warn him 4 years ago about his shitty behavior leading him to downward spiral, and he called me a woke scold. A woke scold. That sounds like probably not the right usage of the term. I mean, it depends. Did you tell him to do better, or like, you might have sounded like a woke scold. It's possible. $5 from Super Mario Hack. The only pipeline I believe in is the Lolicon / Shota to child porn pipeline. You know, that's a relatively reasonable pipeline, I'd say. You know, not all pipelines are lemons. I don't know where I was going with that. $2 from the Kestrel, the leftist with no father. Many such cases. Sad. You hate to see it. I've never seen a thin person drink Diet Coke. $10 from Rylan C. I love when pundits talk about how they went down pipelines like they were groomed into it, but in actuality, these people just held opinions they don't align with anymore. Yeah, well, I mean, again, YouTube and whatever social media will push you towards content that is similar to things that you've shown an interest in. That's not really a pipeline. Like, I guess I've been indoctrinated into the Elden Ring pipeline because I started playing and watching Elden Ring videos again. So now I'm like in the Elden Ring pipeline, you know, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's just, it has to all be a pipeline, I guess. $2 from Zen Disaster. Went free, Crapton Alex's vid on edging and gooning. Didn't he take that one down? I think it got saved by someone, but, edging, yeah, he did. I saw that. He's been making a lot of those, like, Captain Alex Answers, or whatever. Ask the Crapton, or whatever his series is. He made one on edging and gooning, yeah. Among other things. He made one about slavery, I think. $2 from Autistic Wolf for to talk Canadian politics and maple syrup. Well, I got some maple syrup recently. It's in a weird can. It's like pure maple syrup, supposedly, but it wasn't expensive, so I question that. That's probably a lie. But I haven't used it for anything. I don't use it for a lot of things, but next time I make bacon, I think I might use it for that. And I've been talking about politics, so there you go. $2 from Fab H, just joined to Claw being based and red-pilled. Well, that was many years ago. I'm blue-pilled now, don't you worry. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. I have all the right opinions. $10 from the almighty Loli telling us about the Xander Hall Super PAC. Thank you very much for the info. $2 from Autistic Wolf. Correction, you love American politics. I mean, what is there to talk about in Canadian politics? You know, we got a two-party system. There's a third party, but it's a joke. The two-party system consists of, you know, shitty liberals and, you know, Bible thumping God people, and it's not great. Not a lot of options. I'm finna pass on this election. I'm John Stockton. Another 10 from Almighty Lolly, clarifying about the Xander Hall Super PAC payments. Thank you very much for all the info. Yeah, really colors a lot of what he had to say there. None of that aged well. $2 from Echo Decay, Antifa Super Soldier, unite! Yeah, the bread tubers are all gonna form like Voltron and Xander Hall. Heat ahead. $5 from Jitters XP as the resident trans guy user of the Deadwing Dork Discord. Can confirm that Claw hates trans people! Also, I appreciate political content that isn't paid off. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to... I agree with the first part, by the way, but it's difficult to, it's difficult to find, like, separate the wheat from the chaff or whatever, find the people that actually believe the things that they believe, you know, and say the things that they say or whatever, like, you know, whatever I'm trying to say, you know what I mean? It's tough to find people that feel like they're decent people with actual, any kind of actual morals. I mean, they don't have to be good, perfect people, infallible, whatever, but it's like, you know, you just see people like Denims openly admitting, like, I don't talk about leftist stuff because it's bad for, I feel like it's a waste of my time. Like, yeah. No shit. No fucking shit. You know, paid off political content. And it's either paid off by, like, a higher power authority, like with Xander Hall, apparently, or it's just paid off by, like, this is what's gonna get me money, is, like, you know, sucking off Hassan or whatever, being fucking, what's that bitch's name? Oh god, the one who looks like Jabba the Hutt. I forget her name. She's irrelevant now. It doesn't matter. $5 from Edgelord Leon in Mallory Archer's voice. I don't know that character. I should watch that show. Do you want Dustborn? Because this is how you get Dustborn. I don't know if I did that voice justice. I should have done like a Marge Simpson voice or something and just kind of, you know, shot my shot with it. Yeah, I might do Dustborn. I mean, it seems so dumb, like everyone's talking about it, you know, it's like it's the fun new anti-SJW cringe woke game or whatever, but I mean, it does look like it might be kind of funny to play. I saw somebody today who had she/they as like a sticker on their fucking hat. It was on the top of their hat too, which was weird. It was like only birds and like planes could see them. Satellite imagery might be able to pick out that person's pronouns, I guess. Good for them. I mean, I guess I saw it, but you know, I was behind them on a bus. $10 from Shun Kurosaki. Saw something where it was like lots of movies are bad on purpose. Sacrificial trash or something, I think. Like that old strategy in bars of putting someone uglier next to yourself so you look better. I mean, I guess. Sure, I mean, Dustborn might be that sort of thing. Yeah, just crap on purpose, whatever. But, I mean, at the very least, it's crap on purpose for money and attention. Like, people will buy, like... I mean, I don't know if I'd buy the game. I'll see if it's available, quote-unquote. But, you know, yeah, it's possible that that's one of those things. Sure, I could see that being a thing that happens. I mean, you know, they put out so much media that's like, you know, what is this actually doing for you? This is like Velma or whatever. Maybe Velma is just meant to make something else look better. Like, whatever other fucking adult media cartoon came out on HBO Max at that time is like the secret real show, and it's just meant to look better next to Velma, basically. Maybe. I don't know. $3 from Nutman. Sonic CD fan pipeline video when? I don't know what that means. Sonic CD fan? I mean, like, bad future kind of thing? I don't know. What's the pipeline there? Going from, like, American soundtrack to Japanese soundtrack? I'm not arguing the American soundtrack's bad, it just doesn't sound like Sonic. It's like a good it's like a good Jazz Jackrabbit soundtrack or something, you know. It's just not a good Sonic soundtrack. I don't think it fits. Maybe Echo the Dolphin, not Sonic, you know. $2 from Charboy. Skibbity Forces got an ugly laugh out of me. You gotta watch out for them nebulous skibbity forces out there in the shadows. You don't know... They're like an image of a glass man. You can't really see him. $7 from Trent Roberts. Brianna Wu looks like a hyper-realistic human version of Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars. Yeah, that's true, that's true. She's a funnier politician than we've ever had. €2 from Arosa. He claims to have created the bisexual lighting. That's Xander Hall, not John of E. Is that him? I mean, I feel like... Was Shoe on Head not doing bisexual lighting like 10 years ago? I mean, I don't know. I'm not bisexual and I've appropriated the lighting. I just like having jabroni lights in my room. I mean, that's not really... I gotta say, you know, that's the other thing. You wanna know the alt-right pipeline? It's not being allowed to like colors or rainbows. Fuck you, gay people. You know what? Open letter to gay people. I want to be able to wear rainbows and not have people think that I'm gay. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. You guys don't even want the same flag anymore, goddammit. You got like a new flag. Let the straights have the rainbow back, goddammit. I love rainbows. Sorry, okay, the rant's over. $5 from Edgelord Leon. He's fundamentally wrong. We do not need more people claiming one side is right and one is wrong. We need actual discourse. Well, that's a good idea, but no one's able to fucking... I think the problem is it's the internet. I mean, like, even if you can hear people's voice, like, you know, I asked when in that Birdie video if something that we were looking at was sex porn, and they thought I was, like, genuinely asking that on some level. I mean, you know, you can hear my voice, but you don't know that I'm just fucking around. People that every time I get into like a drama with that retard a few months ago or with that retard a week ago, every time there's like a drama, people watch and they're like, bro, he's so angry. He's so angry. This is so funny. He's so mad. He's like seething. And they don't know that this is just me. This is just how I am. So it's like, yeah, the internet, you know, it doesn't make certain things that should be obvious, and, yeah, you know, discourse is kind of difficult. It's the ground is, the waters are muddied. Text makes it way harder, and then, like, yeah, you know, even if you're on video or on fucking whatever, you know, there's nuances when you're just talking to fucking people in a room. Like, you can pick up on, like, oh, that was probably a joke, right? And on the internet, maybe not so much. I don't know. So, I mean, discourse is kind of hard, but, I mean, it's made harder by all these bought and paid for fucking political stooges. $2 from Ron Masao Tome. I love dork story time. We need more fanfics. Yeah, more zoophile fanfics. That's great. I mean, I'll get to more of that story at the very least. Maybe soon on the stream we'll do some more zooier than now, and we'll do some more beaver soup. That's the name of it. Right. Well, thank you everybody for stopping by. I hope you had fun. We're done with the stream. Stick around for next stream when I scoop out the innards of a tauntaun and sleep inside of it. It's gotta be as good as they say in the movies, or else I'm going to have been led down a misleading pipeline rabbit hole, and I'm not gonna be happy about it, Disney. I'm not gonna be happy about it. So thank you everybody. Take it easy. Penis. Oh, and George Bush did 9/11. We're coming up on the, you know, it's almost the, you know, the anniversary, so just, you know, take it easy, everybody.